Hello guys, we are here at the WARDITV Monday. We're going to open the day with Percival versus Goblin. Seems like a pretty fun matchup to me. We don't get to see Goblin a lot. Percival's pretty good. I think we're going to have a good time. Dun, 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 dun. Oh. Our lobby's up, so we're just gonna get right into it, guys. Just getting everything set in the right places and everywhere it needs to be. Beautiful. Beautiful. Alrighty, let's let's get into it. If our players are ready, they were just taking a second. We're gonna be able to get this going. WARDITV Mondays edition 23. We weren't here last Monday. Last Monday was a bit crazy. Had to drop Ellie off at the feds, just some stuff went down and so on. So that was a thing. We're back here this time today, and excited to get into it a little bit. So we're just waiting for Percival to ready up, and we can go kick this off, get into some action today in a bracket that looks very akin to how the bracket usually looks. We've got the favorites in here: Clem, MaxPax, herO. We've got Solar and Classic. Obviously, Goblin versus Percival, our first round match, but there's also Skillers, Trigger, Harston, Nico Rack, Gerald, Beon, Creator, Ryung, Bunny, Jumi. It's a fairly standard bracket, but I think a fairly fun one as well as we get this up and ready to rumble. Let's get this underway. Alright, so let's dive into it. As we are going to go into... Oh, my buttons are wrong. Hang on. My voice is also not there. Why is my voice not there? It's not good. Alright, let's fix the buttons first. In the bottom left-hand side, our red Protoss player is going to be Goblin to start us off. And we are going to be seeing him taking on the blue Terran player, Percival, to begin the day in this best of 3. Everything best of 3 today until a best of 5 finals here on the WARDITV Monday. Expecting to have a good time. Alright, game 1, best of 3. Goblin Percival, a bit of PvT. What's up, chat? How are we all feeling? How are we all doing? Coming off of a very fun weekend in the Backers Brawl. It was a lot of fun. If you weren't aware. Over the weekend, we had a fun tournament sponsored by a fan. It was a lot of fun, it was really cool. And excited that we got that one wrapped up. It was just a fun weekend-only tournament, and this week we're back to the usual WARDITV stuff, so we've got WARDITV Mondays today, WARDITV February group stages on Tuesday and Thursday, and the WARDITV February playoffs on Saturday and Sunday. That's our schedule for the week. Currently Wednesday and Friday are up in the air. We'll be figuring that out at some point. Yet to be decided. Alright, to building through, just gonna get ourselves settled in here. The factory coming online as we get this rolling. Factory will finish up on the barracks, and we do just have our tech lab coming through. And sorry, a Tech coming through, the Reactor coming through, and then a couple of Reapers coming through. The Factories coming through is what I meant to say. Because the Stargate is the choice from Goblin. So yeah, Stargate from Goblin. Not quite, the most meta of choices, but it is Goblin. I think he typically prefers a Stargate over a Blink a lot of the time. Purple's back, Adept's gonna sit there, the Stargate about to finish up, Battery, Stalker, Warp Gate all coming through. Get that Starport continuing to come on in here, it's about halfway done currently. Add a Widow Mine onto that as well. And those couple of Reapers, and the Hellion as well, just going to come around the Adept. We'll be shading out the Stalker coming up the front. Reapers and the Hellion get back towards the center. Phoenix and the Adept coming through. The Warp Gate is coming in. And a couple of probes coming about as well. Phoenix just hanging out on the high ground. A couple of Reapers will jump up. They will jump down. Stalker going to get there. Hellion taking damage. The Reaper will get taken out as well. And that Medevac and Marines will continue through from Percival. So we get that on the way. The Tech Lab continues to come online at the moment. Phoenix having a look here. A couple of those Widow Mines going to unburrow Medevac. Unable to really do much. Just the benefit of opening with the Phoenix is you can obviously shut down a lot of this early game pressure. We lose a Phoenix though. It's a little sloppy from Goblin. Doesn't even get a second Widow Mine. A Widow Mine for Phoenix is an extremely good trade. Marines pull back. The Medevac gathers. The SCVs will get there to repair as well. Phoenix coming through, just going to get the Medevac. I mean, now we're going to go for the Cyclone as well, as Goblin essentially tries to get this out of control. He does kill the Cyclone without the SCV repair being able to save it, so that's going to be a pretty big deal to start us off. Phoenix Adept coming up. Our next is going to get building through as well. Just have ourselves a an attempt of Goblin to get towards that third base, so we'll just get that underway. Nothing too surprising about that for the moment. And get that up and rolling. Tank cells, the Marines gather up, Viking and the SCV joins up together as well. I'm just going to have ourselves the Stimpack and Combat Shield coming through, the Medevacs and Marines on the way out, Engineering Bay from Percival coming online. The Phoenix already heading to the upper right hand side, going to get into that natural and try and see a bit of what's going on. Things get there. Feel those Marines just getting picked. We do see the Immortal and the Phoenix +1 charge continue to come through. And those Phoenix will just continue to stick around. We get more Immortal Phoenix continue to come over. It's going to be seeing a couple of units hitting the rocks for the moment. Phoenix will just sit there. We will see them just gathering. A CC coming down the low ground. We got a whole bunch of extra gates coming in from Goblin as well. Phoenix coming up, couple of SCVs going down, missile turret going to be firing. As Phoenix get pushed away down the right-hand side. And Nexus coming through, the extra gateway is coming online. It's going to be a 4th base settling up on the 6 o'clock. A few additional Zelds warping in as Goblin prepares himself to kind of handle this next stage of the game. Yeah, the couple of Vikings building for Percival as well, prepping to kind of deal with that higher Phoenix count plus the Colossus at the moment. Hallucination is even going to come up this right-hand side. Heading into the natural. Not really much, obviously, a Hallucination can do, but dies to a missile turret. As Goblin, yeah, set up across 4 bases. Set in a pretty comfortable position, I would say, for this current moment in time. All units get warped in. We're going to morph one Archon in amongst that. So a couple of Archons coming up. The Prism is coming up as well. Continuing to get that all underway right now. Excuse me. Well, Goblin is going to try and make a little bit of a push up. Gotta be careful. There's units on the left and right, but he actually might be able to chase the units of Percival on the left-hand side. They're gonna have to stim away. That's already kind of a nice start, honestly. And Colossus will go through. A couple of those depots already taken some shots. It's 20 SCVs going down. Goblin's army is just absolutely power moding through. I mean, the issue is, you've got 20 army supply in the top left that's not getting involved as well, so what... that positioning is just kind of backfired completely on Percival. Maybe if he, surrounded with this, but it's just Marines as well, so there's no buffer for them. If the Colossus hit them, the Vikings have melted. And I think this is gonna get to a GG. Just like that. Goblin takes game number 1 of this best of 3. Comfortable game from Goblin. Lost to Phoenix early, but outside of that, shut down any potential aggression, kept the game in his control very much so. Goblin puts himself comfortably through to the next round. Just like that. Alright, let's hop into game number 2. Kick off into this second game. Going to be Whispers of Gold. Okay. Some of the smaller maps that I again played here. Nothing wrong with that. It's a nice break from seeing so many of the maps that are just large and too big and too freaking much in general, which is a frequent occurrence, quite frankly. Alright. Let's go in game, and let's cast some Goblin Percival. Game number 2, as in the bottom right-hand side, we'll start off with our red Protoss player who was able to take the opening game of the series. In the red, it is Goblin. In the top left, our blue Terran, it is Percival. Second game of our best of 3. Let's see if he comes down the ramp and Depot gets placed. Just gonna see the SCV gonna come across and chase the probe. Probe gonna go run around in a couple of circles here. SCV probe gathering through again. Nexus coming online as well. Let's see our factory coming up. I mean, obviously early game we've got a little bit of watching to do. Gas cell selling. Guys, I'm sorry, my throat's a bit irritated today. I didn't really realize this until I started casting. I have to keep pausing to clear my throat and stuff. So if I suddenly go quiet, kind of halfway through a sentence or something, that's all it is. Adaptable shade, heading toward the upper left-hand side. Adept continues to come about. A couple of SCVs jump into the bunker. Body confirmed not abducted by aliens. Huh? I got abducted by aliens? What? Alien trying to get in. Obviously just a nice little snipes, just gonna take that out nice and easy. Ends up gonna shade around to get that blink on the way up, so we'll see a bit of a different playstyle from Goblin here. Goblin is quite an aggressive blink player. When he does play blink, he will get up in your face, he will make a couple extra gates if needed. Let's see our observer coming through on the robo facility. We do have ourselves the Adeptus again pushed back with Banshees and tanks on the way. This is getting to that stage very quickly here where Percival's going to get on the map and push aggressively. As that happens, we get charge on the way from Goblin. I don't love that he's got no stalks on the map to kind of ping at a couple of these units as they come across and try to slow it down. It's an observer and an adept coming through. And he will see it moving out, right? So he gets that info, which is very nice. Stalkers. Yeah, that's what I mean. Get those stalkers up in front, get them to start pinging. The sooner you do this, the better. And this is a small map, so you don't get a lot of time to do it. We're already on the Protoss third base, right? As tanks will be forced to start sieging. Charge is halfway done. Charge really nullifies this attack very easily, but that's the problem. As the Adept there eats some tank shots, but nothing really much else happens. Can we buy enough time for charge while keeping the Nexus alive? I don't think we can. But if Goblin just gives up the Nexus and then completely wipes this army, maybe his counterattack has some potential. Like, he loses nothing in giving this base up, which is good. You know, like, he's not lost any unit yet apart from that Adept or two. So that's the right kind of approach in that regard. These Stalkers are doing a great job now counter-attacking. We will see some going down with the siege tank fire, because I feel like we should have targeted the siege tank before the Marines, but that's okay. And now we have got charge available. Does Goblin have any way to get enough zealots up? 3 zealots warp in. He's going to be supply blocked, though. He does have more pylons finishing. Charge finished, even though the Twilight Council is now depowered. The Stalkers have gone all the way across the map, killing some more SCVs here, 4 or 5. And again, like I say, the main thing is that you're keeping a lot of these units away. We had 1 warp in as zealots. I think we could definitely do with a 2nd warp in. Cybercore going down. The Stalkers recall, and that should be it, pretty much, to then jump on this army. Like, we just gotta go. I love the charge, but 6 zealots does not seem like a lot. I think Goblin has struggled to get the units going that he needs. He's gonna get on the tanks very quickly. He'll get rid of one of the Banshees. First tank, second tank going down. Obviously, again, with no reinforcements here as well. You take a lot of the power out of this, but it's still just not really enough. Percival takes a pretty darn good fight in the grand scheme of things. Let's just have the Marines continuing to get across, and that is obviously the cleanup from Goblin, but at an extreme cost. It cost him so many units. Can't imagine he comes out of this in a alright kind of position. I think he's going to be in a lot of trouble moving on from here. I think this is going to be a struggle of the next little while. Couple Jake gates just coming up, the Cybercore about to finish, Robo Bay coming through, and the Observer is going to build on the side of Goblin, so he gets another. Did he lose all his obs? He did. It's kind of rough. Banshees don't have cloak, but obviously just having an Observer to get a general idea of what's going on in the game is nice. Another big push from Percival. He's got Stim Pack now. He's very close to Combat Shield and +1, so the bio portion of this army is only getting stronger. We've not really seen anything get better for Goblin in comparison. Two probes coming through. As our Stalkers, we'll continue to fight through for the moment just to get some damage done. I will fly, couple Stalkers getting hit. We'll have ourselves, obviously, this little counterattack is fun, but I can't imagine too much is really going to come of this. There's just too much Terran on the other side. Percival looking a little bit too powerful here. GG's, and Percival is going to take game number 2, which means we've got a series in that opening matchup of the day. The aggression works out on this one, and that will be that. Now we'll get into game number 3. We do have to run some ads just at the start of the day, guys. Again, hope everyone is doing well. A lot of the round of 32 is getting set up already here, so it's going to work out quite nicely. Lovely. Crossline going to be map number 3. Jump into this and we'll get that underway, guys. Don't know how Solo ended up in the lobby, but Solo was in here. And Rex as well. Don't know what was going on there. As we kind of came through on Frostline and get this set up. We'll be underway in a sec. Alright, let's go. Into game number 3, we have got ourselves a third game. Very first series of the day. I love it. How lovely. Getting some action in quickly, not having the easy back and forths today. Something a little bit deeper. Top right hand side is our red Protoss player. This is Goblin. And the bottom left, our blue Terran is Percival. Game 3, a deciding map here, early in the day, as we get settled. Pulls back toward the upper right hand side, the factory coming through, Reaper coming up, and Nexus gets going as well. Pros coming through, the Nexus is about to finish up. We do have our starport, our command center, on the way out on the side of Percival, so the question will be, how aggressive does Percival want to get here on Frostline? Does he want to go, full aggro? Does he want to be aggressive like that last game, or is he going to play a little bit more into just like a little bit of pressure and then more so like a bit deeper into the game based on some of his setup? Next we'll just go shading. We have ourselves the Reapers and the Hellion coming over. Again, the Cyclone, the Medevac coming through. A couple of Marines gathering together. Link on the way through for a couple of moments. And a couple of Reapers and the Hellion. We'll get back toward the center. Medevac coming through, Siege Tank and Marines coming about, our Stalker and Adepts move around toward the natural, get an extra Stalker added on as well. I was going to see a couple of Reapers in the side. I'm going to fight. I mean, at least on push, we got to see a pullback here from Goblin, who's going to Chrono Boost out and start a battery. He's suddenly a little bit worried about this. The Cyclone is dangerous. It can find so much value here if you don't get rid of that Cyclone soon enough. And it keeps locking onto Stalkers. It can be a bad time, but locked onto a probe, and then looks like the Stalkers have enough numbers to push this away for the moment, and that will be shut down. Those dogs come through. Rest of the army coming over. A couple shots coming about. Grenade goes down. Stalker's coming about. Just going to be seeing the Cyclone going through as well. A couple more shots coming about there. Medevac taking some extra damage. The Viking lands and hits the Stalker also. Yeah, charge coming up, the Observer and the Gates all coming online as well. We get that going. And all those upgrades continue through. Stim Combat Shield, +1 attack. And bring all of that in the charge. Just now finishing the Stalker's Blink across. Going to hit that Engineering Bay. Stalker's Blink up into the main. A couple of those Marines beginning to go down. You can see a few of those dropping. The Combat Shield will be taking some damage as well. Stalkers continue to whack away onto that as the SCVs pull through. Just going to protect it, and they are killing probes across the map. So Percival having major success. That was just a Viking and a mineral line. Get 7 probes before we're done. 4 SCVs die on the side of Percival. The Stimpack Combat Shield and +1 attack all come up on the side of Percival too. So he's about to get all of his upgrades. He will be able to move on to the map now. I mean, first Colossus coming up though. With Colossus out, then any Terran attack is going to be that much more difficult to execute when you don't have Vikings or a way to clean up those Colossus. So there's a reasonable place we're getting to. Fire pushing through the center. One Stalker blinks back. Another Stalker actually gets taken down. The +1 attack upgrade is finishing very shortly as well. So just going to get that completed. Fire going to shoot a few SCVs going down in the mineral line. So again, nice attack there. Oh, this is rough for Percival. He gets jumped on without paying attention. The tanks go down without doing anything. The Order Mine is reasonable, but it's obviously not going to save you from what's going on. Plus the fact you're taking damage in the main base, you're losing SCVs across the board. At this point, Goblin maybe can't push into the natural, but he's obviously in a very good position in general here. He's being in a pretty good spot. Even just trading out right now is good for him because he did so much economic damage. He has put his opponent into a very difficult place. Stalker's Immortal Colossus going to fire the Bio Army. Again, push into the natural. Another Colossus going to get reinforced across the other side of the map. Colossus will fire. Actually going to see a good dive forward from the Bioforce. Another Colossus about to show up as well. Stalker's blinking through. There is just too much here from Goblin. Percival obviously really does not recover from the previous fight that we mentioned. That missile turret needs to go down because the Colossus again shot by it. There are Vikings. One Colossus goes down here. I mean, the Zealots are showing up. Honestly, like I say, like you can trade badly as Goblin, but it's still completely fine. You have so much money. You don't even need tech units at this point. Like the Colossus is more of a nicety than a necessity. The Stalkers will just kill SCVs. The Zealots keep the rest of the army busy, pushed into the main base as well. There's really just not much else to make this game exciting with. Like this Bioforce will never do it. And there is GG's. Goblin takes the 2-1 victory to knock down Percival in the first round of the games today. Goblin advances on to play against Clem in the round of 16. It's the last round of 16 to start, but I think let's skip that for now, because I think what would be more interesting would be to maybe line up into like a cool round of 8. I mean, Clem's round of 8 would be fun as well. I'm looking at maybe like herO's about to play Art maybe, and then the winner plays Bunny. I kind of like that. Seems kind of cool. Yeah, could maybe do that, something different, see something we don't usually see in Art. Be kind of a cool way to do it, perhaps. Alright, run some ad stuff, guys. How we doing? How's everyone feeling? What's up, YouTube chat as well? Is there any news about EWC? Sorry, I haven't caught up on the chat a little bit on YouTube. No news about EWC. And what league is Wardy in? I'm probably like Diamond League right now. I don't play StarCraft at the moment. I would say if I played 100 games back in Master League, would be my guesstimate. That's usually the level I stay at. Might be a bit wrong. That's why I believe in myself, though. Alright, herO's going into a lobby. Like I say, I think we just go into the herO match. herO's going to play Art, and then the winner plays Bunny. I'm kind of excited for that. I like it. I feel like any time we get to watch some more Bunny, it's fun. He told me 100% win in FFA. Yeah, I know. Alright, so this is going to be a PvP, but I'm actually kind of excited to see the winner versus Bunny. I think that'll be a fun round of 8. Obviously, we've got great matches across the board. We watch Clem play TVP all the time. So, and I'm sure we'll see Clem in the semis and the finals, likely, so yeah, down to watch some of the rest of it. Austin playing against Solar. I think Austin's streaming that as well. It's a fun one. Alright, looks as though we're good to go into this one. I'm going to kick off into the PvP here between herO and Art. So let's get this on the way. We need more Clem. I know we need more Clem, but if we follow Clem every single week, it becomes a little bit less interesting, sadly. Trust me, I also just want to watch a bunch of Clem games, but I think it's good to mix up who we watch and who we cast. I think it's healthy for the scene in the stream. I was actually looking at my YouTube channel recently, and if you look at just like my YouTube uploads, it's kind of crazy because obviously certain players just do better on YouTube, right? So I have a tendency to upload certain players more frequently than others, and obviously one of those players is Clem, and I was looking through, I was like, man, every other match just has Clem in it, because Clem is one of the players that does very well, and he's also one of the players that just plays in everything, so I have a lot of his games to actually upload. I'm like looking through, it's like Clem versus herO, Clem versus MaxPax, Clem versus herO, Clem versus herO, Clem versus MaxPax, Clem versus Showtime, Clem versus Dark. These are all in like the last 10 uploads. It's like every second series feels like there's a Clem game basically. And then there's a few Clem games in a row because it was a fun tournament day and he ended up winning. Just a lot of Clem on the YouTube, but like he just brings in the viewers. What can you do about that? Ay ay ay. Again, bottom left it is herO, in the top right it is Art. We kick off into game number 1 of this best of 3 and see where we are gonna go. Exciting. Say a little bit of PvP. The winner of this will play Bunny apparently. That's already settled in the next round, so it should be fun. Still remember when the cast were playing FFA and EWC? Oh yes. My favorite part of that was when they did the intros and everyone walked out in the wrong order. That was my favorite part. Me and Cats had to cast that and it was such a mess. It was like, we're gonna go listen into the stage in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And me and Cats just have to stop casting. It was, and then we had like sometimes audio of the guys talking, so you didn't like. It was just such an awkward cast because we didn't really actually want to cast over 99% of what was going on. It was funny. You know what's crazy? Everyone that played in that got a freaking headset or something, and I got nothing because I wasn't a caster. I was just a lonely desk host. Absolutely so. Even Kalaris got one. Literally everyone apart from me. I got skamazzled. They make this desk hosting job sound real sweet. They're like, you could be the next Kalaris of StarCraft 2. Like, whoa, guy's successful. And then you don't even get a headset. Unbelievable. I'm down like 90 euros on this Logitech headset. Everyone else got unbelievable. Should have added it to my invoice. Headset to make up for my feelings. That got hurt. We have got action in this PvP, sorry, as I'm reading chat and stuff. I'm just going to be seeing a couple stalkers coming through. I'm just going to be seeing a couple stalkers firing. I'm just going to be seeing our stasis just going to catch a couple stalkers getting stuck. Also, Molten, I think you're misremembering the free-for-all. I don't think that's what happened at all. I think they started to take out the Arabic stream casters because the Arabic stream casters kept unplugging people's mics. So they weren't actually trying to kill them, but then they kept unplugging their mice and keyboards, so they were just like, screw you. So yeah, I don't think it was quite a I don't think it was quite the way you're framing it. Art is gonna get aggressive off these 3 gates and obviously a 4th here, and then a blink. And herO gonna try and get defensive. He's got 1 Void Ray ready. He's got a 2nd building. No defense in the main, so if you blink up... Okay, there is 1 battery coming up on the main. Obviously, that blink up in the main. You're gonna need some high ground vision to do that, though. So it's a cool option that will require a little bit more investment, unfortunately. So makes that a little bit tough. Tries to shed the Adept around for the vision, but it gets killed off immediately, so that's good defense already from herO, shutting down the possibility. Voids are going to activate. Void taking some shots. You get pulled back. Robo Facility coming back through. And Void's just going to sit there. We have the battery coming up. Robo Facility gateways continue to come online. So let's move off to the side. Gateway's going to take some damage. You know, that's obviously where the Stalkers can do a lot. Probe's actually going to have to pull in herO. Going to get a fair amount of value here, though. He's going to get a lot of the Stalker kills as the blink out. even results in another Stalker not making it, which is unfortunate. I'm just going to say GG. This was not good enough. Here we're going to grab the opening game of this round of 16 matchup. Amygdala, gonna be map number 2. Let's get this one hosted up and get going into it. He won some NC2 keys and skin builds. It was kind of sick that they had stuff to give away in the chat and stuff, right? Very cool. Who is Art? Fantastic question. Art is a, this is the, I believe, the Russian Art. I say that because there is a Polish Art as well, but I believe the way this guy's name's capitalized makes him the Russian Art. He's been playing for a while. He's had a couple of cool results. You might see him frequently in like an OSC King of the Hill, for example. Yeah. You might see him a little bit in like OSC King of the Hill and some of the smaller events and so on. He has a pretty reasonable time there. And we head into the top right hand side. Our red Protoss player from Weibo is herO, and he is going to be up 1 in this best of 3. In the bottom left, our blue Protoss is Art. Game 2 of our series, probe wandering across down to the bottom left for a few moments here. Probe moves about, just going to try and steal a little bit of what's up for a few moments. That probe gets across. We do see one probe already on the other side of the map as well. See if anything comes from that. Yeah, probe's gonna go nibbling. Sniper close coming through. Need to get settled here just for a couple of moments. Couple shots come through, stalking the sentry, gonna break out, and we'll follow those from Art as he has a probe coming across the map again, but I mean, herO is expanding, and he's gonna drop a gateway down, so he definitely looks to be, or looks to want to be the aggressor here, it would seem, which is reasonable for the most part, I would say. Not too surprising as we get set up. Continue here with a bit of lag. Just gonna drop a pause in then, and we'll take a moment or two to hopefully get that resolved. Hopefully not a major problem here. They hopefully just get that sorted out, get back on track nice and quick, get back to it. Go. And that's gonna do it. So we get back to it right now.
Game resumed.
And we're back in action. Alrighty. So back to it we go. As we take a few moments here and just have obviously this gateway coming up. A couple units poking at the front. Heavy on the sentries right now is herO, so he's going to have a lot of the sentries to work with for the foreseeable future. Keep an eye on how that works out for him as the 2 Stalkers in the center move up this ramp. A couple gates coming in. The robotics facilities coming online. We got a warp gate coming up as well. Good force fields, and force on the recall is rough, because that really takes away a lot of momentum that you might have been able to get for yourself in this. Like, that really puts you into a very weird place as the Stalker Sentry pushes back. Yo, Juniper, thank you so much for the 17-month resub on the Prime as well. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Yeah, a couple Stalkers and the Sentry gathered together. Immortals coming up, gates coming through, Sentries in production. That's where this game sits and sells for this current point in time. I mean, Art is pretty much just going to be sending this in the near future, so get that ready to roll out and get a little bit of a move along, as we are going to be seeing a couple of shots coming through immediately. Some hits coming out right away. And just so many force fields. It's difficult to really imagine you're getting up into any sort of a useful position here in all of this. This is looking a little bit rough to start us off, as we are going to press on through. More Stalkers, more Adepts still continue to gather together here. See that Prism joining up together as well, like I say, with everything else continuing into play currently. A little bit of a hop skip and a jump into the main base. And see what else is going on. A few Adepts, the Immortals firing away. Straight on through. The Immortal and the Stalkers continue to try and fight for a little while. It's going to continue to get into position. I mean, the Immortals of here are obviously putting up a pretty good defense here as well, pushing this back and absolutely making this a defense. The Prism comes back around into the low ground, into the natural. Get a few more warpins coming through as well. I think this is pretty much on the verge of being done. The Immortal Chrono Boost on the Robo facility. Another few Stalkers showing up. A couple of Immortals will drop down. The Prism will take another hit or so. And we just have this army pushing down to the low ground. I mean, if we obviously break this position, you get rid of the Robo, you get rid of the Gateway, that's huge. A second Immortal pops though from Art. I mean, it'll give you a chance to maybe stay in this. Both players have the ability to warp Prism Micro. herO will warp into the fight as well. As that first Immortal gets lifted, his third Immortal shows up. The DPS is obviously heavily favoring herO. He takes a 2-0. And he moves on through. GG's. We're going to hop on over to the Korean server. And get ready for herO versus Bunny. Perfect. So we'll get herO versus Bunny coming up. We've also got Solo Classic currently underway. Beon waiting for MaxPax or Geralt. And then Clem versus Goblin. Skillers versus Trigger happening on the very top section of the bracket. So all of that ongoing currently. Keep you guys up to date with what's up as we get back to it. As more games come around. Anyways, we'll hop on over here, take a couple moments, and we'll get this TVP ready to rumble into some more games. Okay, so we just wait for Bunny and Hero to get their videos done. Be able to kick this off and get started. Get into this very soon. Very exciting. So yeah, videos are happening. Get this underway. Kick off very shortly. Yeah, bracket's looking good. I like where the bracket's at. Excuse me. Apparently a little bit yawny today as well. Yay. This caster shows up tired, shows up... Didn't really show up late or anything, but... Just unbelievable, really, isn't it? Crossline going to be opening map of this TVP, so we'll get this underway in just a couple of moments. Countdown starts. We head straight into this. So TVP coming through. Bunny and herO, best of 3. We'll kick this off in just a moment or so. So we'll get that underway. We'll get that all started. Let's head on into Frostline. As we have got in the bottom left corner of the map. The Red Terran player is kind of excited to see his games, which is why we tried to kind of hard guarantee that we were going to be in this section. It is going to be Bunny. I think it'll be fun to see what they have in store for us. I think Bunny's always a fun player to watch, so we'll see what happens here. We'll see what goes down. As at the same time, we've got in the top right our blue Protoss player. We have herO. In one of this best of 3. So, best of 3, game number 1, setting up, see what we will get. Figure out what will go down. Let's just have ourselves a little bit of setting up to be done for the first few moments, and we'll see what that gives us. Obviously, a gateway coming into position, the barracks coming through, the pylon drops onto the other side. And we just have ourselves a Reaper to start Bunny off here as well, so we'll get that underway. So yeah, Reaper coming through, Cybercore, Zealot, Probe coming up as well. We get all of that underway right now. We following this Reaper across. We actually do already have one. It's going to be a second. So 2 Reapers and a Hellion seem to be the go-to plan here. Not too surprised. We've been seeing a lot of that lately already. Seeing a little bit more of it is, like I say, not too surprising as that Reaper shows up into the natural right from the very get-go. And we'll be heading toward this main base to see if anything more may be done. Have the Reaper setting up again. The Reaper Hellion continues to produce. That means there's a third Reaper and a second Hellion, so a lot of pressure going to be set up to go on this. We're just going to pretty much get ready to full send on this one. Yo, what's up? Young TQD, how you doing? Thank you so much for the 13th gifted sub into the channel from yourself. Sorry, I read that wrong. I was about to say 13-month resub. It's a gifted sub out of JM 2009. JM, thank you so much for the generosity of gifting out a sub. The Reapers and Hellions will gather together here, so we are a moment away from just sending this as we are going to go. That's a dead sentry if we don't get back to the battery, which obviously we did. Force field goes down, blocks a lot of the units out, but I'll tell you what, a Hellion plus the Reapers into the main is pretty nice still. One Stalker only in the main, obviously the other units can't chase that down easily. 2 workers, we're going to get 3, 4, easily, 4, maybe, probably 5. Wasn't bad. 5 workers, obviously the force field was pretty clutch in the end. It still let units in, but it was very important that you had that force field, because if you didn't have the force field, I think there would have been a lot of disaster in the sense of... yeah, if we didn't have that force field, then what you miss out on is there's an extra Hellion in the base, and that's obviously very painful. That costs you a lot, and that really probably does get a lot more workers, so... Continue to settle in. Just going to be seeing our robot facility and blink on the way up. Maybe a depth trying to shade at the front as well, put some pressure on. Let's see if there's anything that may be done there. Again, that blink continues to come into play as well, so we keep that going. See the blink now finishing, and again, Siege Tank, Marines, Stimpack all continue to come online. In-depth will just shade around at the front a little bit, going for a bit of back and forth. Marines will kill this adept, which was just trying to get some scouting info. All he wanted to do was scout, but he gets shut down. He will not be allowed to see what's up. Tank sieges, and herO has a full-on army coming across the map. Stalkers, a sentry, just coming straight through to the other side. Heading toward the bottom left. We'll jump into the main base. The depot goes down on the corner. We will blink out, and those Stalkers get to the front of the natural as well, so we'll just gather up there. Again, Stimpack, Combat Shield +1, all coming through. We're going to go for another blink into this high ground, or are we? Marines hit the Observer a couple of times over. Nothing too crazy about that. And the Stalkers join together. So they will settle in for a few moments. We do have ourselves a little bit of setting up to do. I mean, +1 attack, combat shield, concussive shells all building in. The storm is going to Corona boost on the Temple Archives. And those Marines are going to be there to push the Stalkers back the other direction also. And try and keep those from getting too much done in the next few moments here. So doing the best we can on that. Stalkers just peel away. Again, the rest of the Marines and the tanks continue to come through for a couple of moments as well. It's just, again, taking a couple of steps forward for the moment. Stalkers will fight. A couple of Marines will be going down. Now we come swinging around the right-hand side, so again, an opportunity to try and see a little bit of what else is just happening. This Protoss army is in position. The tank's going to unsiege, as it looks as though for a moment here we were going to send it as herO. He might still. The Widowmine hits the Immortal, which is nice. Bunny re-sieges the tanks, tries to get some shots off with them. Feedbacks on the Medivacs. Storm on the Widowmines. That was actually a great fight for herO. Love the High Templar usage. Getting the energy off the Medivacs so there's no healing, and then getting the Storm off, making sure the Widowmines can't hit. Works very well, and now herO is chasing Bunny down to the bottom left-hand side. Obviously, Storm's available here. This doesn't look like a super... It doesn't look like a solid army. Let's change that a little bit. Actually, I hate it with the anti-armor missile, and that feels really weak, but then there's just not that much from the Terran, who's going to have to stay splitting and pulling back because of the High Templar Storms. You got to really respect those. On top of that, you're going to have the Zelds that seep through, and I think those Zelds make a big difference, as Bunny just does not have the numbers to stay alive here on Frostline herO. Looking as though he is going to be able to get himself a 1-0 lead in the quarterfinals today. Looking to keep on moving through this bracket and toward the semis. No surprises, by the way. Trigger beats Skillers 2-1. I don't know if that's really a surprise. I actually think those two can really compete with each other quite well. So Skillers beats Trigger. Sorry, Trigger beats Skillers. He plays Clem in the round of 8, who beat Goblin. Solar is playing against Classic. MaxPax is playing against Beon. And herO is playing against Bunny. After this, semifinals will be starting to get set up. We will go into whichever semifinal is ready first, pretty much. That's the way we do it here. Whichever semi's ready first, we jump into. The other semi will jump into after. And then we go into the finals. It's been a pretty quick tournament, man. We've been through 2 full rounds. And we're only an hour and a bit in. There's been no delays today. There's been go, 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 apparently. As we go, go, go into this next game as well. We are going to start off in the top left-hand corner with the red Terran player who will be down a map, looking to bring it back. Here on King's Cove, it is Bunny. Taking on the blue Protoss. This is herO. So yeah, we take a few moments to get ourselves into game number 2, King's Cove. Big map is what we kind of note right from the very get-go here, I would say. Big map, definitely something to think on there. Definitely can have an impact. Bunny, the kind of guy who I actually feel like does not mind the big maps. Obviously, it's a pretty good one to set up defensively on as a Protoss, but I feel like Bunny's going to look at this and say, well, what can I do? Well, actually, I'm going to be able to do a lot of dropping. You know, the map's big enough I can pull my opponent around a little bit. So while I don't think it benefits Bunny for the early to mid stages where he can oftentimes be very aggressive, I do think it can benefit Bunny in a later stage of this game, and I do expect that to be a factor at some point as well. So definitely expecting that to come through at some stage here. Let's see what happens as we get ready to go, go, go. We'll just pop on through. The probe is going to come across. And we do have ourselves that nibble onto the command center, starting off immediately. Gonna get the probe killed in the corner. And be able to grab that. Nicely done. We'll shade around a little bit. A bit of motion, and Deb just going to be moving backwards and forwards. The Oracle coming online. Even Bunny's build is just kind of very plain and simple, right? Very vanilla. Widow Mine drop, 3 Widow Mines. Plus the medevac. Across the map we go. Apply some pressure off of that. The Widow Mine will be there. We load it up and let's follow Bunny across the map as he tries to get some damage done initially. There is, with the Stargate opener, going to be an Oracle for us to keep an eye on. We'll see if that is able to do much. Is the Oracle going to dive in straight away? Might wait a couple of moments. Once you know the Widow Mines are in the medevac, it becomes much safer for this Oracle to go diving through as well. Until then, Hero might have to play a little cautiously, but the Oracle's probably very unexpected too, so I feel like diving in right now is not a bad choice, because you can just come straight in, 3 series, 4 series, go down immediately. The Widow Mines will burrow the Phoenix. Actually going to get locked onto there, but okay, this was good. We killed 7 probes. The Widow Mine drop is successful. You will lose everything, but killing 7 probes against Phoenix is actually very nice. Unfortunately, the Oracle has obviously done a lot. Lost mining time for Bunny, 4 SCVs going down. So it doesn't do something, but you're still going to end up in a network advantage for yourself. So I don't think that was necessarily a guarantee going into this. But we get there in the end. Two more SCVs going down, unfortunately, is not going to be great. Definitely some issues overall as the Adept's going to come shading through. Adept's actually just commit straight into this mineral line. The Marines obviously able to fight back, but it's taken a while, and for the Oracle too, apparently we are just going to do too much. Marines die. And Hero takes a very convincing second game. Damn. That's kind of rough. I was excited for Bunny. That was not it. So Hero gets the 2-0. He moves straight through to the semi-finals. He was very good right now, to be fair. Definitely an issue. Sorry, I feel like my eyes being shitty. Just irritated. Alright, well, MaxPax Beon is going on. Solo versus Classic is going on. Let me get some updates on some of these scores. Let me hop around some streams and let you guys know what's going on. So over on Coca's stream, he's usually covering Clem. He's not in game. Rex probably covering Sola. Sola is leading 1-0 over Classic. Fun. And then the Cranky Ducklings are casting also Sola versus Classic. Harston is not in game, so I imagine he's waiting on... You waiting on Clem Trigger? I guess we go to NA because Solar Classic might end, the others might not end. MaxPax has just come out of a game with Beon. Maybe we can figure out what the deal is there. I can't imagine they're finished. I would have guessed that that's at the very least a game 2 coming up, but maybe they are. If they're finished, then this first semi-final is set to go. I'd be kind of shocked. Looks like MaxPax is hosting another. Let's go into MaxPax Beon then. Because it looks like that's going to be ready more quickly. So we'll check the score on this one. As we will be told. Okay, MaxPax is winning 1-0. So MaxPax leads 1-0 over Beon. Just going to get this going in. Just noticed that a few days ago you got your first gifted sub ever. Yeah, thanks to Ian. Awesome. Welcome to the WARDITV family. Congrats on your first gifted sub. It's exciting. Ian the legend, gifting subs every month it feels like on this channel. What a champion. Top left hand side. Up game is going to be the Red Protoss player MaxPax. The winner of this plays Hero in the semi-finals, which is kind of why I jumped into this one, because it feels like this might just be the semi-final that is ready first. If that's the case, we'll just go straight into it when this game's done. And just keep the games going. Bottom right-hand side, the blue Terran player is Beon, as we get into game 2 of our series. CC setting up. Gonna have our our probe, sorry, coming up this high ground. It's gonna move straight through. Gonna nibble at the SCVs. Cybercore coming about, Nexus coming through, Factory, Reaper coming up, the SCV building in. MaxPax obviously one of the big dogs right now in terms of StarCraft 2, in terms of how well he's playing. He's definitely a player that we've been having to keep our eyes on. Been very good lately. Pro moves about. Here's the Reaper that's going to try and deal some damage in the first few moments, so away we go. In depth, the Stalker going to get the cleanup, so the Reaper will go down. Going to get some information off of it, but that's about it. So the Adept will just shade. The Medevac and the Widow Mines will go moving about. Just going to see our Tech Labs coming through, the Orbital Command coming in. And bring that into play as a couple of Marines continue to settle. A few Marines get down to the low ground, the Adepts will be there. And yeah, the Medevac heads into the main. Marines will chase after those Adepts. The Widow Mine's actually dropping in. One more gets burrowed. Very well handled by MaxPax. Only downside is the Medevac lives with two inside. The defense was very good otherwise. As we have the couple of Adepts shading their way. Down towards the Naturals. They're going to try and get in over here. The Marines are gathering up already. You can see that Adept going down immediately. The Marines in the tank will continue to settle down, and we have 3 more Stalkers from MaxPax getting warped in already. The Warp Prism is about to pop out of the Robo facility as well. And we will have ourselves an opportunity to get across the map here over the next few moments. The Prism, the Stalkers, the Raven on the way up from Beon, add an Observer into the mix, and that's everything that's currently coming through. So Stalker's coming down again, tank and a few Marines gathering up. Stalker's going to shoot, Refinery will go down, Prism is going to be hitting a little bit. Stalker's coming back into the center. Raven coming through, a couple of probes getting picked away at. Stalker's going through, the bunker will go down. This bunker's going to fall, the Marines are going to get there. Just going to see those Stalkers getting picked away at. Siege tank continuing to settle for a few moments. Stalkers in the prism continue to gather up for a few more moments here. Forge coming through, a few probes coming about, charge coming up as well. And on the way from MaxPax, Stalkers are going to get there, a couple of SCVs are going to get grabbed. The Bio Army joined together, the bunker obviously finished up and settled in the natural. Stim combat +1 continuing through, Marine Marauders coming about, the Medivacs in production. Everything gonna get another auto turret down. I was having a reasonable game. 2 kills, gonna be a third right there. Some probes pull away, you obviously still lose a worker anyway. Beon just needs to, obviously with the stim pack now done, this is the point where pushing out towards his third base is going to be a big moment in the game. Even just getting across the map maybe, because this is a moment where he doesn't actually have the third base yet, it's just now starting. But this is the first time the Terran really feels like they've got the better kind of army, right, with the stim finished, and you can see that Beon actually has a lot of stuff, so going across the map, some possibility right now. Now charge will be done before Beon fights, so MaxPax will have charge to work with defensively. Good defense against the Prism, doesn't let that do anything. Catches a few Stalkers. Problem for MaxPax, there's 4 or 5 Stalkers going down. Oh my goodness. Run them out to the left. Beon will reinforce a lot more of his units still at home. Does he want to try and go across the map and follow up on this damage? It doesn't currently seem like it. Oh, he's actually going to catch those Stalkers as they come back around from the edge. He gets another few kills, 3 more, so that's so many Stalkers going down. He's going to drop into the main. Stalkers here forced to blink back immediately. The defense in the main base is not very heavy right now. We're going to recall into the main. A few more Zealots, that might not be enough. If Beon kites this well, and honestly positioning is pretty good for him. Yeah, those Zealots are going to go down, and Beon's going to push onto the third base. Yeah, Beon's just going to completely outplay MaxPax and outposition him on this one. Mistake after mistake for MaxPax, unfortunately, and Beon capitalizes and takes himself a game in this series. So Beon will go to 1-1, and we get tied up here in this best of 3. Alright, third map is going to be Neon Violet Square, so deciding map between these guys. Still no other results from the other round of 8 games, by the way, so nothing to report on there. We'll keep you guys up to date if anything does come about on those other series. As we'll go game 3 of MaxPax versus Beon. Winner of this plays herO in the semi-finals. Trigger is up a game against Clem right now as well, so there's a little bit of info for you guys. So, Trigger up a game over Clem. Classic and Solar 1-1. So all of our round of 8s are kind of heating up a little bit. Exciting stuff. It's fun because Trigger did not do too well against Clem in the backers brawl, but definitely felt like there was potential from Trigger, it just wasn't his tournament. And that's an example of why and how. MaxPax in the bottom right. Our red Protoss takes on Beon in the upper left, our blue Terran. have ourselves the racks. Continuing up, Cybercore going to drop into the main Neonvalid Square. Big, massive map that we're going to play in this game, apparently. Purple's down the bottom right. We'll see the Nexus coming through, the Adept and the Warp Gate coming up. See how Probe's going to return. Stalker coming up, the Stargate coming through, Warp Gate in production here as we get underway. Let's see a little grab, a little bit of a cleanup, and we are going to have ourselves MaxPax going to step back on the map. Sorry guys, have to answer a quick question from someone. A couple of moments. See our Stalker still wandering across to the other side. Take a few moments and the Adept. They come back around as well. The Adept just on the move a little bit. We have ourselves the Siege Tank, the Raven coming through. Here's the Medevac with a couple of Widow Mines inside, making a play as well. It's going straight across. Just going to be seeing a couple of Phoenix. Got to be careful. The Phoenix continue to go, and the Medevac is going to get hunted down. I mean, with Phoenix in play, you should always be trying to clean this up without taking much damage. 2 probes is probably not that bad, all things considered, right? 2 mines, get a probe each. I think that's fine for Beon, considering it's Phoenix that are meant to be good defensively. Yeah, I imagine he's very okay with that outcome for the most part. Phoenix continue to go out to the other side. It's just going to go pushing across a little bit. And we're going to be seeing the Phoenix Flying Rain Starport taking some damage right off the bat. A little bit of damage being done. The Engineering Bay coming through as well. The Phoenix come back over the other side. Rains get underneath and the Phoenix get turned once again away down the left-hand side for the moment. Away they go, away they get pushed. Immortal, Phoenix, Nexus, all producing for now. The Phoenix come back across. A couple of SCVs are going to get jumped on. 7 workers currently going down. Cyclone gets there, and that's going to be another very good grab. I mean, 7 workers going down. We lose a Phoenix. I mean, you don't mind losing a Phoenix in the grand scheme of things here, right? You just killed a bunch of SCVs. Like, yes, you want to keep the Phoenix count up and going, but this is a very acceptable kind of level of kind of damage taken in return. Phoenix come up top again, 1-1 upgrade, stim pack, all building through. This Phoenix will swing across the left-hand side and end up in this main base next couple of moments, and in they go. A couple of SCVs going to get picked away at, going down very quickly. Slow turret returning some fire, and the Phoenix will regather themselves as well. Just gather, a couple SCVs is going to get grabbed as well. Let's see how Extended Thermal lands. That Colossus continue to come through for the moment. Just get pushed back. We're just going to be seeing a couple Medivacs popping out, Marines and a Cyclone. Gather together. The other one upgrades the combat shield and crystal shells. How to come through. Our Phoenix will go around the left. The bio gathering. The Medivac's there. Sure, it's good to get rid of and observe a little bit of a mistake from MaxPax as he obviously camps with these Phoenix and just tries to make it difficult for Beon to move across the map. It's a great map to use this style on. We know MaxPax is a mainstay kind of Blink player, but a map like this, Neon Violet Square, Blink just isn't as good. And Phoenix play is pretty good. It sets you up well. You've got a lot of defendable bases. And right now, using it well to kind of scare Beon from doing anything too early. Beon takes this back base. Ever since Harston told me about this back base being terrible, I keep looking at him like, I don't like it. He's going to get to 6 gas, but he's going to have 2.5 bases of minerals instead of 3 bases. Like, that's a significant difference, and obviously it's much safer, but is MaxPax doing anything to kind of punish you from taking a forward base instead? I don't really think so. Phoenix get back around to the bottom. Prism sets up on the top, the Marine comes into the center, Phoenix continue to settle. Now the Phoenix peels around the bottom side. And again, +1 and charge, both coming up and online at the moment. We had a Nexus and a battery and a cannon. All into that too. The Phoenix will get patrolling. A couple of those just going to go charging right on in, so a couple of those SCVs will get taken down pretty darn swiftly. 5 workers getting picked away at 6, 7. That turret does fire a good few shots off, push that prism off to the left side. The rest of the Phoenix gather themselves back in now. Phoenix back around on the left side. MaxPax is now taking some steps forward. Beon trying to take this 4th base. This will set up. Colossus will fire. SCV goes down. A couple of EMPs are going to drop right into place right from the bat here. And +2 and Blink coming to bat. The extra zealots coming through. That Nexus drops down into place as well. Some big army. MaxPax stepping through. We're going to be seeing some Marines already taking some damage. MaxPax's army is 200 supply maxed out. The Colossus are not being touched well enough. I mean, the Phoenix are low HP, but just not being finished off, so they just got to continue to sit in the sky as well. As MaxPax really brute forcing his way up the ramp, and obviously rightfully so. He does start to lose a Colossus now, but it just does not matter. The game is decided, and Beon will tap out. MaxPax moves to the semi-finals to take on herO. Some revenge, maybe, from the Bacchus Brawl. Solo is in the other semi-final, so we'll go MaxPax herO first, though, as that one is ready to begin right now. So we'll get, yeah, that's set up. Looks like Clem Trigger are going to a game 3. So yes, we will get into the MaxPax herO series as we get this ready to go. So we'll get some videos done. Clem Trigger, like I say, going to a game 3 at the moment, so that's exciting. Yeah, that's also very cool. Fun stuff. Alrighty, we will go, like I say, into MaxPax versus herO. Kick this off. Thanks for joining us again, guys. Appreciate you being here. We got a bunch of views already. How do we have 300 people already on YouTube? YouTube's so random. I swear some days it just like picks and chooses like to give us loads of viewers or not. It's so interesting. I wonder if it's like the consistency of the Monday stream does very well for YouTube specifically. It's very interesting. Fascinating, one might even say. MaxPax is BRB a moment, but we shouldn't be too long before we get back onto track. We'll get that ready to go. I'll just wait a couple of moments, guys. Take a few seconds. Pretty broad question, but how's the overall state of community tournaments? Seems like all the big tournaments might not happen, but community stuff is at least stable. It's a great question. It's really hard to say. I think the biggest problem community events have to some extent is that we are seeing 3 to 4 players are extremely dominant. MaxPax, Clem, and herO. And while they sometimes lose maps, it's very rare for those guys to lose series, and so we keep getting the same results. You know? I think that's the biggest downfall we're currently having, because community top tournaments happen a lot. And because you have a lot of them, if you get the same results very frequently, it becomes a little bit less interesting. So I think maybe we should be doing something as tournament organizers to... I think we should maybe be doing something as tournament organizers to make some different results happen. That doesn't necessarily mean, like, don't include the best. It's rough because obviously you want to have Clem, herO, MaxPax in all your tournaments because that's what brings in the viewership. But, sorry, let me just reply to someone quickly. So yeah, you want the best of the guys there, but like you also need to you need to make it worth the other guys still playing, because it's like my concern is that without bigger tournaments, a bunch of people leave, and then we have even less players to make up tournaments from on a community standpoint. So I think what we really need to do is maybe run like a couple more tournaments that don't have the top guys, or run like 1 day or 2 day events that doesn't necessarily invite the best of the best every time, just to vary it up a little bit. I think that's what we need a bit more. The problem is right now is that the sorry state is that the best players will play in everything apart from basically herO. You know, Maru's not playing, Reynold's not really playing right now. other than StarCraft, the best guys are playing in everything, and I think those guys are just significantly ahead of the rest. And even if one of those guys gets upset, the other guys still win. You know, it's so hard to upset all of them, you know? Why isn't StarCraft playing? He doesn't really play in smaller tournaments. So, I think the state of community tournaments is like, community tournaments will continue as long as there's viewership for them. As long as you guys support the channel, as long as you guys support the stream, we will continue to run tournaments, right? We're not stepping away from StarCraft 2. There may be less players. Like I say, we may have to adapt a little bit. I think, for example, what Roddy does, I think Roddy does very well, like, with the big brain bouts, is like, he changes up people who play all the time, which helps a lot as well. Better prize pools would help. Yeah, but I mean, you also still need to make it worth trying to win the tournament, you know? I mean, in a community tournament, there's only so much prize money you can really spread out anyways. Until you're like, well, is this best of 3 even really worth anything? Is this best of 5 worth anything? It's tough. But yeah, maybe the answer is, yeah, I don't know, maybe... It's difficult, because the thing is as well, it's like, if you take $100 off of first place, right? Say we take $100 off of first place. If you put that to top 8 instead, that's like, minus $100 from first, but then to like put that across 4 plays is only $25 each or so, you know? So yeah. How about splitting it out, top GM in their own bracket, top 50 to 100, 200 for others, then have fun tournaments for other divisions like Masters and Diamonds? Yeah, there used to be a lot of like league-based tournaments. I don't really run league-restricted tournaments because the issue is A, the viewership is not there for anything below the top of the top. It's there is some viewership, but it's very difficult to turn that viewership into revenue. And if I stream 5 hours of a Diamond Cup, even if it doesn't cost me anything to stream that, it's probably not worth it for me on the day. Versus if I put $200 into getting some top players to play, I'm streaming those guys for 5 hours, I would probably end up in a better position, you know? Because one of the things that we make money off of is ad revenue, which is completely based on viewership. And the other thing we make a lot of money on is sponsorships, which really benefits from the stream having good viewership consistently so that we can send, you know, we can say, hey, look, we usually average these viewers. And that's the problem. It's like, you know, even if someone comes in the chat and is like, well, if you run a Diamond Tournament, I'd give 10 subs. That's great, but it doesn't make up for the losses of running something with better viewership, you know? So yeah, the viewership's just not there, lower down. I think it is kind of on the community tournaments to maybe make viewership. I mean, let's not talk Diamond League, but even let's talk like below the pro tier. Like there's a lot of players who are like, I would say at like a semi-pro level right now. Maybe we should do more for those guys and have a couple more events for those guys specifically. And then we can hype those guys up. Like, I was thinking about for WARDITV 2025 what I wanted to do. And one of my ideas is that, for example, if we have like a big tournament with a group stage, MaxPax, herO, Clem, whoever performed well in the last event, they don't play the group stage, right? So that the group stage has a lot more competitive games. Because the problem is as well, if you put Clem in a 4-player group, you're basically watching 3 players play 3 best of 3s and Clem usually just kind of stomps through. That's not always the case, sometimes people fight back, right? But generally it would be better if you have 4 players of a more similar level. So if I do a 2025 circuit, WARDITV circuit, my plan is to kind of have ways for some of the better players to skip some of the earlier rounds, which should give us more chances to see some of the other players, but also in general gives us more good games of StarCraft. I'm not talking about basically just giving the, you know, it's still going to be good players, right? You know, we're still talking about players who are very fun to watch, who play at a very high level. It's just trying to remove that gap of like every single day we're watching herO versus Clem versus MaxPax, you know? So yeah, we did that a little bit in some of the WARDITV seasonal events 2 years ago. I think that's probably an approach I would take just because I just think we could do with it, you know? Because like at the end of the day, like for a bigger tournament, we can't leave out the best of the best. But I think it would be good to have more competitive groups, you know? Like right now, you invite some players to the groups and I'm like, I love watching, you know, some of these players like a Trigger, a young Yakov is really fun to watch as well. You put young Yakov into 90% of the groups, it's already difficult for him. You put him into a group with Clem, and it's like, well, it's already super difficult, and then one match is nigh on impossible for him. Is it even worth him playing in the group? Like, from a viewer's perspective, probably not. So yeah, I think there's a lot of good questions. There's a lot of good ways to deal with it, so I think that to me is the biggest issue on community tournaments. Obviously, you've got the issue of funding them. As always, you guys, like Little Tough, dropping the prime. Magic Buns, dropping the prime. That helps. There's all the ways to support. We talk about it a lot. I think community tournaments will continue. The question will be... I mean, I don't think community tournaments will make or break a lot of the players that take part, but what is going to be interesting... I hope you guys don't mind me just talking over this PvP. What I think is going to be very interesting is... if there is no, say there's no big StarCraft 2 events this year, community tournaments will actually get a boost. You know, there is something about being able to go to a sponsor and be like, hey, StarCraft literally has nothing. You could help us make the biggest tournament in StarCraft. Like, that is a thing which sponsors would actually maybe respond to. You know, there's a community aspect where if there really is confirmation of there's nothing else, more people will give up more to support. So the community tournaments will probably see some boosted prize money, at least short term. Is that enough to make up for being no EWC? No, of course not, but it's going to be an adaptation period anyway. So that part I can't really answer. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens, but yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, like, StarCraft's not going anywhere. If you guys enjoy watching StarCraft, there will still be StarCraft to watch. It's a great game. It's very entertaining. It's very fun. The game will adapt, and there will be like a sizing kind of period, but the game will adapt, we will adapt, and we'll make something happen, you know? Now, to be a Debbie Downer, these issues stem from lack of new blood being brought into the game, which could have been amended by making the game more accessible from the get-go. You remember it being a topic like 10 years ago? Yes, but the problem is not necessarily the game... I mean, it's a big discussion, yes, but like, at the end of the day, like, a lot of people tried StarCraft 2. A lot of people, you know, the game, StarCraft 2 is not accessible, because you can pick up and play the campaign very easily. That's one of the best parts of StarCraft 2. You don't have to just play 1v1. You can play the campaign. The problem is that even just going from one, like, it's not just not accessible, it's just extremely difficult to get to the top. The skills you need in StarCraft 2 are very difficult to learn over a short period of time. There's no one that really has the time to invest into getting super freaking good at StarCraft 2 who isn't already at the top of the top. And the guys that are doing that, you know, some of the young guys are getting there. But you're just talking about a skill disparity that is just nigh on impossible to close. Which, funnily enough, might get better over time as some of the top guys don't have as much top competition. It might actually become possible to kind of catch them a little bit and to see some, you know, some more competition compete with those guys. So, I don't know, but that might actually be a weird positive in a weird way. Like the level might decrease, but it might be better for the scene, if that makes sense, you know? It's interesting. There's honestly a lot of names that make it to GM. There's a lot of players that get to that level. It's the gap between... like, it's the gap between being able to compete in, like, online tournaments to being able to, like, beat the pros is just... It's impossible to imagine. Like, the amount of work and skill and natural talent, it's just a difficult game. I don't even think it's necessarily an accessibility issue, as much as it's a... straight up, like, it's a freaking difficult to play issue, you know? So yeah, I don't know. It's tough. It is tough. I mean, we're going to have some very hard and real discussions, I'm sure, in terms of StarCraft 2 community events over the next few months, but all we can do is, if you enjoy it, keep on watching, keep on supporting. If you keep on watching, you keep on supporting, there will be StarCraft. It might not be herO and Clem every week, but, like, at the end of the day, good StarCraft, like, I think the most important thing for good games of StarCraft is having a certain level of competence, but also having You know, because no one finds it fun as we will see Phoenix versus Phoenix here. Okay, this looks pretty good for MaxPax. No one finds it fun to watch players make mistakes and lose games where it's just like, well, that was stupid and it's just so obvious. You know what I mean? Like, no one really finds that fun. So there's a level between that. There's kind of a layer between that level of like skill where it's like, oh, it's just frustrating to watch these guys because it's just too mistake riddled, versus two players that are at the same level and they play like at the mid GM scale are very entertaining games because they don't make a lot of big mistakes that are like turn you off from watching, but because they're still evenly matched, they make very entertaining games still, right? So StarCraft 2 in that sense is in a very good place because StarCraft 2 is actually just a very good game to watch. You don't have to have the best of the best to make the games of StarCraft 2 interesting. You just need there to not be too much of a skill disparity, and you need there to not be, you know, like I say, not be too low of a level at the entry point as well. So, yeah. Is SCT definitely not part of the World Cup? No, we've got it might be, but even if it is, like, there's a realistic world that this is the last year, because clearly something has not gone well in terms of getting it online, because it would have just been announced already if it was that simple and easy, you know. So, yeah, I mean, and even if it is the World Cup, what if it's just the World Cup? What if there's no other tournaments apart from the World Cup and qualifiers? Then we still have a lot of community work to do to fill the gaps still, you know? So I think SC2 mechanics punish new blood from joining, like Bane, Storms, Mines, depleting a person's army in a blink of an eye. No, I think that's just, I think those things can be frustrating to play against. But people always talk about these things in terms of like, oh my god, this, like, he deleted my army in 2 seconds. Like, what about all the times you delete their army in 2 seconds because they also make a mistake? It is a bit of like a high, super fast-paced RTS, but that's also what makes StarCraft 2 so appealing. Like, if you take away the lethality of StarCraft 2, you have a very different game. And I think a lot of the people that don't like that lethality have realistically moved on to other RTSs anyway. Watch Warcraft 3, watch AoE. You know? StarCraft 2 is defined by its lethality, and, like, yes, it can be frustrating to be like, shit, I just died to a disruptor. But that's also like that's also what gets StarCraft 2 like its uniqueness, I think. I don't think it's turned, I don't think that turns new blood away from joining, because like if you are massing Marines and you're dying because the guy's rolling Banes into you, you're not going to enjoy StarCraft 2 in the long term anyway, because that is a skill issue, and part of the best part of playing StarCraft 2 is getting better. And so if you're realistically going to become one of the best and someone who genuinely would improve and kind of excel at StarCraft, like, you're not going to get turned off by, oh man, I didn't split, or I don't know how to split. Like, you got to learn that stuff, you know? Yo, Andy, thank you so much for the 500 bits. Appreciate it. So yeah, there's a lot to think about, but at the end of the day, it's a fun game to watch. I think you can absolutely, you know, even if like there's only a couple, you know, a handful of players who are full-time still, there's a lot of players right now who are studying, who are working, who still compete in tournaments, you know, and they enjoy that aspect of it. And like I say, like right now it's weird because no one really wants to commit to doing anything because we don't know what the deal is with the circuit. But if, like, you know, if we actually just found out what was going on with the circuit, I could tell you guys what my plans are for the year. I'm not going to make any plans when I've got no idea if July is going to be full of qualifiers, or June's going to be a dream hack, or May is going to be, like, regionals. Like, it's impossible to do anything. I can't do anything or plan anything based around that. You know, so I don't know, like, if there's something of a circuit, I don't need to put as much money in. And I can just work on kind of, you know, continuing to get ready for next year where we might have to put more money in, right? So yeah, it's just a weird position right now where we don't really know where we're at. Like, this is the biggest problem with what's going on. Like, the fact it's been 6 months and we've heard nothing is just so frustrating. Because even if they just said it's not happening, at least we could start to move on. you know? At least we could start to be like, okay, let's start putting something in motion. Let's do a crowdfunding opportunity. Let's, you know, see what money we have to work with for this year in terms of community events. Because realistically, what I would probably do, say there was no big StarCraft 2 this year, or next year, or whenever, my plan would probably be to do like a big crowdfunding shove at the start of the competitive WARDITV season, and just be like, whatever we gain from this crowdfunding is going to be the base of what we use throughout the year. You know, because I think it's really bad to try and crowdfund consistently and never stop. But I think if you try and crowdfund like once a year, this is our shove and that's our baseline, like people are still going to give throughout the year. But if you do one big push, that's much more effective than pushing constantly throughout the year, right? So like, but like, it's impossible to put any of that stuff into play. I don't want to do that right now if there's going to be a circuit. Like, we don't need to do that right now. I can fund stuff off Patreon and so on. I don't need to do a bigger crowdfunding. But it's so for, like, I can't do any, like, we're just stuck in limbo until someone just says, oh, by the way, StarCraft's not happening. Or, by the way, you know, like, we're just stuck. We're just completely stuck. So yeah, we're in a bit of a weird position right now. Which sucks, but it is what it is. Such is the world. Such is the world. That's why the delay in announcement is BS? Yeah, I know, but the worst part is that it's like, I'm pretty sure eSports World Cup want to run StarCraft. I think eSports World Cup is having issues licensing with Blizzard. Or Blizzard are requesting they do certain things. And eSports World Cup don't want to do those certain things, but they want StarCraft. And ESL want to push eSports World Cup to have StarCraft. I think ESL were actually pretty upset that SC2 wasn't at Katowice. I actually think ESL were probably not happy that Katowice did not have a second game, because you know what? ESL, if they knew StarCraft wasn't going to be at Katowice ahead of time, they probably would have brought a different game to Katowice instead of just CS. They have space for more than one game. But, you know, I heard there was production teams that were hired for Katowice that had nothing to do because there was a game missing. So I really get the feeling that maybe, you know, ESL would like something's going on somewhere that's messed up, and I don't know whose fault it is, but like, I think people want to do StarCraft, but for some reason it's more difficult than it should be. So yeah, I don't know. Miserable. Miserable time to be a StarCraft fan, but we just gotta keep our heads up high and just truck through it, guys. We've been a dead game for like 15 years, according to the majority of the world, so we may as well just keep it going. No announcement on missing SC2 and IEM? Well, yeah, of course, because they don't know what the hell's going on. They can't talk about any of it. Like, ESL are probably frustrated too. They probably don't know what's going on themselves. Like, there's just too many moving parts that aren't syncing together. Yeah, it kind of sucks, honestly. This has been a very depressing cast of this. I haven't even casted this PvP, but I think it is an important topic, and I know we probably have had this conversation a couple times on the stream, but I think it's very healthy to talk about it and to just realistically put the viewership base at, at an understanding point of where we might be, you know. So yeah, that's why I take the time to talk about it. All right, should we do some more PvP? It's Phoenix versus Phoenix. Honestly, like the fact they're playing Phoenix versus Phoenix a second game in a row doesn't make me want to be like, oh yeah, let's talk about the game, because yeah, it's just Phoenix versus Phoenix. I mean, herO's down a game, but he looks as though he's winning this game, so I guess we'll see what happens. Is that Phoenix range only for MaxPax? Okay, so no Phoenix range for herO. He's going to go more Stargates. He's going to try and outmass his opponent, but will not have range. This is why it's a dead game. When it's going to end abruptly. Well, that's just Phoenix versus Phoenix in general, right? Like, you wait, and then eventually there's a fight, and that's it. A lot of the time, at least, because numbers play such a big role in this matchup. Right now, the Phoenix count are equal. herO needs to wait, get his extra Stargates pumping, take that Phoenix lead, and try and take a fight where he doesn't let MaxPax utilize the Phoenix range advantage. I kind of am excited to see this, because herO did this the other week against MaxPax, and it didn't work out. But I love the idea of it, and ever since he did that, I was like, I wonder if he's going to try it again, and he didn't do it during the Backers Brawl or a couple of other events we saw him play MaxPax in. I kind of wonder, obviously he's doing it again right now, so he feels like there's some opportunity, and again, if the Phoenix of MaxPax don't get the distance on herO's Phoenix, then herO just has more. The only advantage MaxPax has is he will shoot first from further away, and if he could potentially kite, right? But if herO can jump and make the gap, close the gap, his Phoenix number advantage is huge. And if he hits as the mothership is being invested into, that's huge as well. herO now knows where the Phoenix are. He's staying out of range of MaxPax's structures. He does not want to reveal where his Phoenix are at. He wants to try and show up as a little bit of a surprise factor. And I like this, because now he's going to put himself in a position where MaxPax kind of has to respond. Oh, I don't love that he didn't stay clumped up, though. There's that Phoenix range coming into play. herO does get the distance, but I don't think all of his Phoenix are going to be firing during this. He's going to pull back. Oh, he gets the gap closed. Is that good enough? I don't think so. I think oh, it might be. He is going to be right on top. 13 to 10 Phoenix, 12 to 9 still. He continues to fight here. The problem is if MaxPax loses this Phoenix War, his Stargates will get camped. He'll never break into freedom. GG. herO is going to make it happen. He did what he had to. He had to close the gap on that army. He had to jump on it. He does exactly that. And he is going to be able to take a second game of this best of 3. Yeah, very cool. This didn't work last time he tried it. I loved the idea. I was like, it's so smart, because, like, if you... There's so often where Phoenix range is nice, but it's, like, it's nice for, like, a few moments, and no one really successfully, like, uses Phoenix range super well on a consistent basis. But, yeah, we'll see what happens. Oh, Austin's calling me. Hello.
Hello.
Hey. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Ah, I'm good.
I'm glad to hear that, Wardy.
How was your series on the top side of the bracket?
Against Solar?
No, the one you were casting. You were casting stuff on the top.
The Trigger versus...
Clem?
Clem. Not bad.
Not bad. Nice.
Actually, not bad. Some Trigger should have won that series 3-0.
Oh, one of those ones?
Yeah, 3-0.
3-0, but he gets knocked out. Sucks.
Yeah. He's gonna be having dreams about this one, but not the good type of dreams. Nightmares, we call them, Wardy.
You do call them nightmares, yeah.
Yeah.
We're in the middle of Phoenix Wars here in this PvP. I don't know if you saw.
Yeah, I saw the end of that last game. It looked... You actually sounded very excited.
Yeah, because I thought what herO did was cool, and I saw him do it like 2 weeks ago and it didn't work. And then he never tried it again, and then he tried it again.
He's just brute forcing, right?
Yeah, like instead of going Phoenix range, he just adds more Stargates and hits the pre-mothership. One chance attack, basically.
Yeah. Well, what do you think the chance is that he just does it because it's the West server?
I don't care. I don't have to think about that. Just get excited about this tactic. I think it's cool.
I really like the thought of that. Oh, this is a build. You see that?
What part? No, I don't see it.
herO. Gasless.
Oh, gasless. Yeah, he is gasless.
18 Nexus, right? Hello? There we go.
Yep. Goes down. Took a
18
second.
Nexus, 18 gas, 18, 19 core, so he's gonna play. Wow, okay. I don't know what MaxPax does against this. I guess he just plays completely standard. So, do you remember when this build first got played?
What, the gasless 1-gate Nexus? PvP?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
It was in PVT initially.
Oh, PVT?
Yeah.
Way back
It's
when.
a parting plated. Yeah.
Into like mass
and then
gateway.
you go 3-gate and then like 6 adept. And each shade. I think if you play it in PvP and you're fighting against someone that goes Oracle first, you're probably going to need to put on some pressure as well. Because if you're just sitting back, like, take a look at the Nexus timing here, right? But the Nexus is maybe 15 seconds faster, something like that. Is that even like 12 seconds? It's like 1 probe. So it's not that good. And then you're going to only have single gate production, which is not a whole lot. And your opponent's going to have a Stargate. So you need to find a way to either deal counter damage, force like defensive structures to be thrown up, and kind of keep the oracles off your back. So I think you're almost forced into doing something aggressive on the back of this. Like, high gateway count or high gateway unit count at least.
Mm. Yeah, no, I mean, it makes sense, right? Otherwise, what else are you really benefiting from? MaxPax going to have that Stargate already halfway done. And is going to try and move into that. There's an extra gate from herO. I think herO's maybe just doing this as well because he's just sick of playing Phoenix versus Phoenix too.
I think it's a good build. Like I don't think this is like oh, I'm sick of it. This is more like this is a prepared build for sure.
Okay.
Double. He's playing it with 2 gate, delayed 3rd gate, by the way. So that allows him to add in the 2 batteries and then a worker cut. Honestly, this is a really cool way of playing it. I wonder if rather than getting a 3rd stalker, if you get like a sentry, like you build 2 more sentries or something like that, I wonder if that's worthwhile. Because then you have more minerals left over. And whenever you play this type of opener, you're not really struggling for gas later on in the game. Like for the first 2 minutes you struggle, and then at minute 3 you have way too much gas because you're not getting any tech, you know? So it feels like getting sentries would actually be a huge thing to do. It is not going as well as I think herO would have liked it to, you know, to go.
Yeah. Well, he's going to be building a couple more stalkers. The Oracle shows up, and so he's going to have to keep some stalkers back to realistically deal with that as well, which is a frustration. The Oracle can stasis ward too. 1 battery doesn't protect you from stasis wards, so you have to respect that as well.
Yeah, you do have to respect that, Wardy. He's going to get the 7 stalkers out against 2 stalkers, 1 void ray. 1 battery is empty. As long as he doesn't lose any stalkers on the retreat away from the 3rd prismatic plus void ray, I think this is a playable position for herO. Unless the stasis hits. Oh, it doesn't. Look at that. herO's playing well, man.
Yep, good job. And he's diving into that natural. He will lose 1 stalker though, and he's going to keep going for the void ray. The battery's almost out of energy. The void ray actually gets no more healing now. 2 more stalkers show up. That stasis hits though, and herO gets a little bit caught up. He also goes in with 2 stalkers instead of everything at once. The battery overcharge, or the energy overcharge, gets used onto the battery, which means the void ray will be kept alive, and herO now has to really keep his units alive. He needs to be able to fire through this void ray. It just gets kept alive. He's so close, but now there's a second void ray out.
Yeah, that's an issue. That is definitely an issue. The battery in the back is good, as the control out of herO has been okay, but MaxPax's control as always has just been phenomenal. Void Ray staying alive with, what, 25 HP, battery finishing just as it has to. It always feels like the other guy, you know, MaxPax is running out of battery energy, and then boom, another battery pops up. 1 more in the back right now. Battery or energy recharge is over halfway done as well, and behind all of this, herO just doesn't really have the eco, right? That is the issue. Like, it's not like herO has like 50 workers and a 3rd base and a Twilight Council. No, he's on 3 gate, he's on a low worker count. He's gonna throw down a robotics facility out of all things right now. He's still going to lose the gateway proxy plus the pylon at some point. MaxPax is in a much, much superior spot right now.
Yeah, very good position for him. Gets that Twilight Council on the way. Takes a 3rd base because he ain't afraid. And yeah, I mean, a gateway on the top that's going to go down as well is obviously not ideal. It's 1 less gateway to work with from herO's side. So yeah, MaxPax is killing it right now in this game 3. To move on through.
Yeah, most likely. I mean, it's not game over, you know? It's just being down against MaxPax. It sucks. It's going to make life difficult. Because it's already hard to beat him if you're ahead. But at the end of the day, like, Nexus timings are fairly similar. He's only down 7 workers. If somehow, some way, herO manages to stabilize, then, you know, we could maybe go into like a 3 or 4 base situation. I think the hardest thing to hold is just going to be the push up next. You gotta have 2 void rays on top of a lot of stalkers. Oracle still being active, which means you might need to keep like a stalker or 2 in between your main and natural. So yeah, it's going to be a rough defense without a battery here, boss.
Yeah, already a couple of force fields going to land as well. Stalkers are going to get stuck, and this Nexus is obviously just likely to die. Adepts in the natural at the same time. And the damage will just keep on compounding here for herO, who is going to be down 4 more workers. Again, this Nexus is moments away from being cancelled. And then you have even less to play this game out with.
Wow. I think that's it, Wardo.
I think so too.
I don't think anything you can do anymore at this point. Even if he holds this right now, which he might, it's like he's down 20 supply, 15 workers, down in upgrades, down in blink. MaxPax could double expand. Do you think MaxPax could triple expand?
Yeah.
4 times expand and
4
still be
times?
fine?
A lot of minerals, but
1600 minerals? I think he could spare it.
yeah, me too. Like, yeah.
What about if he expands 5 times?
That's
And
that's
takes to a
pushing it.
mothership?
No, too much.
I think it's too much
That's
as well. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
I think even 5 plays already is really pushing it.
Yeah, well, he's not going to try and do that, so I guess we'll never find out. He's actually just going to make him to win the game.
Flick forward.
Boom.
Nice.
Bang.
Wow. What a game.
GG.
Yeah, this is nothing. Wardy, this is a terrible show.
Fell apart for herO early. The plan was not it.
Yeah.
That's not the plan.
If I could have done something different with that time, I think I would have picked it, Different activity.
Brutal.
Different activity with the group. I think I might have even preferred sitting in the lobby for Clem Solar, just so I had like a better seats, higher on top of the lobby screen.
So you didn't have to talk about it at least? You just...
Nah. I was having a good time in the lobby earlier already, was chatting with Solar. Clem apparently was AFK. He was complaining about it. They weren't sure whether they had to wait for you or not.
Oh, well, yeah.
Because no one ever tells the players anything.
But Clem already knows. That's why I didn't tell him.
Yeah, but he didn't tell Solar. He just went AFK. Solar said they were patiently waiting to start the game.
So Solar also knows. He just wants to ask every time in case
clue.
I accidentally
He was
say
very
it.
confused.
Oh. No way.
Is Clem still AFK?
Probably.
Do you want me to call him?
No, it's fine. He'll show up.
Maybe sleeping.
He's not sleeping. He was sleeping the other day, though. Did you see?
In between games?
No, on Saturday he just didn't show up.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wait, was that the BBQ tournament?
Yeah. He didn't show up. He thought his game was at 5 because they were playing the bottom side of the bracket like just all at once, and I was going to cast it replays. But he didn't. He didn't read the message, so he just saw he was like 3rd in the bracket. But actually, he saw he was like 5th in the bracket. He was like, "Cool, I'll be here at 5."
Yeah, it makes sense to be fair.
Yeah, but I sent him a message telling him what's up.
Yeah, but I mean, yesterday I also sent you a message. You didn't respond for like 18 hours or something.
Yeah, there's nothing to respond to. I told you something. You replied, and then you said you gave me something to think on. I had nothing to reply to it. What do you want me to say?
You should have sent at least a thumbs up or like a check mark
What,
that you read
a check mark that I read it.
Yeah, that's what I do
Still,
often. If I'm like, I acknowledge that you send a message.
You've never acknowledged that I sent a message.
No, because I respond instantly whenever you send me something.
I'm gonna scroll up and find when you don't reply.
Yeah, go try it.
I said
it doesn't exist.
I said I believe in you, and you just didn't reply.
Yeah, because you were probably trolling. When was that? Today?
No, February 9th. You said.
Yeah, but I started that conversation.
Yeah. Here you go, January 14th. I said, "Do you need it now, or can I send it tomorrow?" And then you woke
that was
up.
The end of the. That
you,
was the
you
end
woke
of the
up the next day, and then you said tomorrow.
What?
I don't know. I think there's a lot of examples. You just.
Okay. You sent me a message at 12, like at midnight.
Well, that's not 12 in my time zone, though. You're being very uncooperative.
I mean, I'm not gonna apologize for not being online while I'm asleep.
I'm perpetually online, so I don't understand.
Yeah, but then you just don't respond.
Well, maybe yes, I was working yesterday when you messaged me, It's tough. You want me to not pay attention to the games in order to read your nonsense?
That's true. That is what I would like. Enough with the jokes, Wardy. Yeah. This is actually an epic match.
Stop pissing around. It's time to cast.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to some of the greatest StarCraft 2 of the modern era. In the top right, spawning as our blue Terran player playing for Team Liquid, it is Clem.
That was so good. Do you want to do the bottom left as well?
In the bottom left, playing for Team Falcons. Solar. You know they have a stream, right?
No.
Like the... Yeah. I I think so. I'm not sure if it's true, but I reckon that they have like a screen. If I was part of the Falcons content team, like all of my videos would be like you'd have a Falcon screen in there. I don't know what a Falcon is. A Falcon is a bird, right?
Yeah, I don't think you need anything else. I think we just need to go back and copy paste what you just did. I think that should be their official.
No, it wasn't that good.
It was brilliant.
I improvised it. I don't know what a falcon sounds like, but I thought it might be like an eagle a bit. And what I did was like a perfect eagle.
I reckon what you did was absolutely spot on for a falcon.
Yeah, I think
Hang
so
on,
too.
I'm gonna look up a falcon sound. What does a sound? Does a falcon?
Don't play it to us, but just imitate the noise, please, so we can see how close I was. I think that's more important. Okay, while you're doing all of that Googling, I will talk to the people about this beautiful game in front.
That ruins it.
Oh, ruins it? You want it to stay?
I did. Well, they can have whatever they want, but I don't want the horse shower.
But since she has a wing.
And what kind of bird is this?
DreamHack Stockholm 2015, which is about 9 years and 8 months ago right now. So a fairly recent tournament win. Clem, on the other hand, won a world championship just 8 months ago. So I think Clem is slightly closer to his peak than Solar is. That doesn't mean that Clem is guaranteed to win, but he's most likely favored here, Wardy.
Yeah.
Are you ready for the Falcon?
I don't think I can recreate. My voice doesn't go that high.
Was it close to what I did though?
Yeah, I think it was actually.
Really? Okay,
Yeah, it was more like a.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't know what type of noise they made, but the intention was
honestly,
good.
if you told me that it was a falcon, I would have believed you.
Yeah.
If you told me you knew what a falcon sounded like and that was your impression, I felt like it would have been.
Yeah. I always am a bit suspicious of people that like work on like animal imitations and then do them, like show them to you. It's like, I don't know what these animals are supposed to sound like anyway. It's too easy to impress people with it, It's not really impressive because I don't know what it's supposed to be.
I guess so.
Either way.
I just hope you continue to intro solo like that though. It was really brilliant.
Yeah. I'll send an email to the boys over at Falcon. They'll figure it out. Falcons, by the way.
Yeah, Falcons. There's multiple.
Yeah, not one.
Not just one.
Yeah. He's gonna play Banshee here. You see that? Second gas. 2 cars. I think it's Banshee, just based on the way that he built the starport.
I think it's Banshee, despite the fact it's Clem.
He does like his Banshees nowadays, doesn't he?
Especially against Solar. Solar is not afraid to play some roaches, and I think Clem is very appreciative of just keeping himself in a nice safe spot early in the game and not taking any risks because he knows he plays TVZ at a pretty darn good level. So, yeah, why not just be safe and set up nicely?
Yeah, understandable. Yeah, he's going to start at first Banshee indeed. I would love to see... You know which era of StarCraft 2 I miss? Clem Mech. When Clem was playing Mech, like 80% of the time, that was Katowice 2022, right? Or 2023?
Which one, sorry?
When Clem was playing Mech.
22, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. Dude, that was a golden era of StarCraft. I freaking loved watching that. He got destroyed by Dark, I think, at the tournament, but it looked scary as hell. And it was fun to watch as well. That was some of the... When Clem played Mech, he actually made it interesting.
Yeah.
He was super active.
Completely different way of playing Mech compared to anyone else. It was so good. Very fun.
He said, this is also very fun, unless you're a drone. Because these guys are getting toasted hardcore. 6 of them have gone down. I really do wonder what what number are you looking at when you're sacrificing like 2 or 4 Hellions early on? Like, when are we happy,
Yeah, I used to think that losing 4 Hellions early on was always really rough because it's like now you only have 2 Hellions and map control's gone. But over time, I think that's mattered less and less, and it's more and more just the fact that you get rid of drones, and getting rid of drones is just so freaking good.
Yeah, and the earlier the better as well, right?
Yeah, and especially when someone like Clem is so clean on the macro, he's so crisp on the timings, damage like that, and then combine it with this Banshee, just ends games. Like, this can be enough damage that in a few minutes, Clem just overruns, And that's the scary part for Solar, because like, those Hellions diving by and killing 7 drones, like I say, like 2-3 years ago, really, I would think, oh, that's good for the Zerg, because the Terran has no control now. It's just not true anymore. Like, the matchup's developed.
I like the thought of that. Yeah, you mentioned something cool, is that the macro of players is so good right now that Like if someone would have done this in like 2015, like they're running by 4 Hellions, they're floating like 800 minerals behind this, you know? Like they haven't built an SCV in 2 years. So then you look at it, it's like, oh, only 7 drones. Like he already cut 6 workers because he forgot the macro during that period as well. So it's not worth it. But nowadays, like Clem is not going above like 300 minerals while he's doing that. Like he's fast, he's getting the maximum efficiency out of the Hellions while just following the build order completely tight. And in a way, it's like, how many creep tumors are you really going to deny on a map like Amygdala? Like, you have one angle you can take. If you want to rotate towards the other side, like, by the time you arrive to the other side, Hive is done. You know, there's Ultras out. Congratulations, Alien's useless. Like, it legit takes a minute to run around if you want to rotate.
Gonna get some Lings. Gonna get through and nibble their way through a set of rocks. Just gonna get damage done there. Yeah, it's you're right. It's difficult to rotate on this map. You're very committed to bottom or top until those rocks get cleaned out later in the game. So even then, it's not an easy rotate. You still gotta swing a bit more heavily. But yeah, one of the unique parts of this map. Hydra down is a choice. Lingbane Hydra, the overall comp here from Solar. You can already see the effects of those drone kills. Clem is up in supply. He's up in army, and this is where, because of that, he can now start taking good trades already. And this is where it becomes super tough for Zerg right from the very get-go.
Yeah. Yeah, this is just hard. This is very hard. There's no 5th hatchery either, so that means that the defense here is committed. Very frequently in TVZ, you'll see a Zerg player have like a double expand, and in that case, you can kind of give up that fort base, maybe counterattack with some of your links, and then you just send the drones to your different fort, basically. And life is still okay, but Solar couldn't really do that because losing this base would have been really bad, and still is very bad. Left side base now also being attacked by these Banshees. I'm not sure if there's enough DPS to get that down before the Queens plus Overseer arrive, but that's still a lot of damage on that hatchery. So the next drop or the next move out that's heading towards that left side is going to be hell to deal with.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. We recancel the base on the bottom side, some creep tumors get denied, so this position becomes less and less attainable. As the Marines load up with no real losses. The split push is now coming as well. Those Queens are very far forward, dropping creep. They're going to go down, at least a couple of them will. And we already start setting up. This hatchery is half HP, so even just the fact that it's low HP makes it an easy target if you get onto it for any amount of time. It forces Solar to engage into you more quickly. And Solar is also hitting some supply blocks here as well. Like, he is not having a good time in this opening game. It is all about Clem at the start of this series.
Yeah, it's Clem is all she wrote. As we have Drilling Claws halfway done. We have 3 more barracks. Maybe add some tech labs on there. Fort base on the way. No creep. No 5th base. I have seen Solar stay alive in this type of position before, by the way. But actually, maybe not when your 4th hatches already have HP as well. Like, that doesn't help.
Yeah, I mean, so I'm always the first to mention that Solar is amazing at surviving until Lurkers, and then once Lurkers are out, he will turn the game around, but this might be a little bit too far even for the King of Not Dying, so...
Is it? This is a good defense.
It is, but he's still getting pushed on the bottom.
That is an issue.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not denying that ain't an issue. I mean, but it was a good defense
no,
nonetheless.
It was a good defense on the top, but that was everything he had on the top, and he is able to swing down here and deal with it. I mean, Clem's still up 30 supply, and we're still a way off Lurkers. It's not like this is like just pushing it back, and now Lurkers are popping. Like, Lurkers are 2 minutes away.
Yeah. Yeah, minimum. Yeah. Yeah, no, that's true. Fort base now in some trouble as well as Marines moving in forward. Mines want to connect with those Banelings, will get the connections. That means that this fort base is gonna die, that the gold base is going to be the only mining fort remaining. The drop gets cleaned up in the main base, more Banes on the way, but there's no Banes remaining right now. That is an issue if you're fighting against 35 Marines stimmed in your fort. It's not great here, Wardy.
Yeah. The Banes die because a few of them got cancelled already. Now you've got Marines fighting Hydra straight up. We take those fights as Clem, even if you're going to lose out on the Marines. He got rid of a bunch of the Hydras. He loses a few more Marines trying to chase an Overseer, which brings the supplies back a little bit. But the thing is as well, you mentioned this gold being the only fort, and that is the easiest gold to get rid of as well, right? The easiest base to deny, because you can just deny it from the center of the map. So Solar has no creep in front of his better bases. He's got a gold base, which is going to be very tough to hang on to. It's going to be tough.
Yeah, like maybe if these 2 rocks were down, it's a different story, right? Then you have some way of defending it, but all the rocks are still alive. So even like getting behind your own gold is going to be hell. Solar now is maybe trying to push out on the map a bit too far. 3 Vipers are on the way. That could be helpful. Parasitic Bomb is always huge. Blinding Cloud is nice, although there are no tanks. So it's not like, wow, it's going to be a huge deal when it comes to, denying some damage output there. Rocks do get knocked out. How many Banes do we have? We have like 5 Banes here, Wardy.
Yep. A few of those Banes going down. Scan comes in, just going to chase the Ling Hydra up toward the top. Overseer's flying overhead, getting knocked as well. Wouldn't mind blowing up another Overseer. There's just no splash damage anymore. We're missing Bane lanes. The Blinding Cloud to try and buy a couple moments, but it is too much. Clem comes back to the early game, right? You kill some drones with the Hellions, you kill some drones with the Banshees. You just can't let that happen when you're playing against Clem. The margin for error is just so minimal.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what to say about this, Wardy. It didn't look good.
Oh.
It wasn't close.
Nope. That's
like Solar was close to surviving at some points.
Yeah. That's I was just talking about this on stream. That's the kind of problem right now. It's like the top guys are playing a significant level above the next layer of guys in terms of competition. And that's why all the tournaments have Clem, MaxPax, and herO playing in the finals.
And Dark.
I think Dark's playing at that same level. I don't know. I think Dark's a bit.
I mean, he's not as good as him, but he can make it happen. I think like Dark, Shin, like these boys, you know, they have something to say at times.
Yeah, but they're definitely less consistent than the top guys, right?
Yeah.
And they're
That's
not playing in as much stuff either, which also doesn't help.
Shin plays a fair amount, no?
He does, but he doesn't seem to want to play the weekly cups and stuff anymore. So the ones you see more regularly, he's not playing in.
All right.
I mean, I actually think Solo has a better chance against Clem than Doc does right now.
Nah, that's cap.
Oh, 100%.
Really?
Yeah, because I think Doc is just... I think Doc will take some games maybe sometimes off of like... Yeah, I think he'll take like a game here or there for like a Roach Bust or something like Clem just missed scouts, but I could see Solo taking those same kind of games, but I also feel like Solo has at least a chance in a longer game, whereas I think Dark just gets overrun too much. Like, Dark cannot keep up with Clem past 10 minutes anymore, I feel like.
Really? I feel like whenever I watch Dark, his first like 6 minutes are so bad compared to then the rest of his gameplay.
Yeah, that's been Dark forever now.
Yeah, but it's been really... It's been weird to watch almost now.
But then that's the problem. If your first 6 minutes suck against Clem, you just lost the game.
Yeah, minutes
like,
6 to 10 will be impossible.
Yeah, like he's okay at doing that and surviving against Protoss players and other matchups and stuff and against some of the Terrans. But Clem just doesn't let you play that room for error anymore,
Yeah. Yeah, he's just constantly, like, he's just there the entire time. You're down 20 supply, it means you're out of the game most likely.
Yep.
Yeah, he's crazy good with the pressures. He's so aggressive, man. Like, he just doesn't give you room to breathe. I think that is the difference between, like, herO at his top and Clem at his top. Like, herO, he just kind of gets you to the late game, and then he'll play out, like, a 25-minute game against someone 1,000 MMR below him. Clem is like, all right, you're 1,000 MMR below me, you're not surviving till minute 5.
Yeah. It's wild.
Yeah, it really is. It's crazy to me how good he is at just killing people consistently. It's so hard to do if you're this aggressive to also be this consistent.
Yeah, it's impressive that you can see... I mean, just the StarCraft thing in general is just you can see that level above people are no matter how good they are, right? Like, it just keeps going. Like, you'd think at some point it would stop and you can't really see much more and, like, you would notice it or it would not be as obvious. But, like, it's very clearly there a lot of the time.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what it is, Wardy. Okay, we're gonna see 6 Lings as a start here. That drone tried to hide and actually managed to hide. How did Clem miss that? I'm not sure. Maybe he just didn't care about it. She's gonna go for a couple of Lings over here. As Yeah, the hatchery is going to go down in position. Speed will start soon as well. 6 lings, none of them will die so far. So that's actually a good start here. If you open up with 6 lings, you shouldn't lose any. Shouldn't lose your first tumor either. So that's kind of the next point of contention here, where we'll probably see a dive in on the Reaper. But I mean, with 2 queens downstairs, I think it should be fine.
Yeah, you don't expect us to do too much else here right now. As we settle for a few seconds, just going to see the Reaper going to attack the hatchery on the sides for a few moments to put some pressure on over on this side. And we'll see our CC building up in the main base to go to triple command center. And we set up fairly regularly. I mean, Wisp is a gold small map. Do you think Solo has anything planned for this, or you just try and hold off Clem and see what we can do?
Honestly, for the past like 2.5 years, I've seen Solar do a very limited amount of timings. Majority of the time what I've seen him play is Lingbane opener, majority of the time with double Evo before a lair as well, so he gets like these fast upgrades. Then he goes into Hydra Lingbane, he techs into Hive, gets 2 to 3 Vipers out, then goes into Lurkers, pretends to build a lot of Lurkers, but really only builds 4 or 5, and then continues just going for basically Hydra Lingbane attacks with Vipers there, and then Nidus Worms, so that if a Nidus Worm does go up, you can send in the 4 or 5 Lurkers that you have. Like, that has just been his game plan, and I feel like he's been so consistent at executing it, and I haven't really seen him do a whole lot of different stuff. Like, this has been his opener, that has been his follow-up plan, and that's what he does, and he seems to be fine with it. As long as his first 6-7 minutes are good, he often gets into those late games where I think his rotations are phenomenal.
Just was looking up some stats and stuff, and Solo hasn't beaten Clem in like over a year.
Not a map?
No, he's taken some maps, but he's not taking the series.
Yeah.
So Dark is better positioned than that, but I really feel like right now, because everyone's fighting me in my chat. But
yeah, your check is sucked.
yeah.
Although I do agree with your chat, I also think Dark is a better chat. But you know, we can agree to disagree. We're actually seeing a lair first here. Lair first. So it's going to throw down a Baneling Nest relatively soon then. First Banshee now shows up. It's going to be important not to take any major damage against this. Fourth hatchery on the way soon as well. Hellions haven't really done a whole lot yet, but maybe that will change now as a couple of drones will die against the Hellion Flames. Yeah, he's freaking relentless with this stuff. Like, you don't pay attention for like a millisecond, and you're just losing drones here, you're losing creep tumors there. It really feels like you're playing against like one of those AIs with infinite APM, you know? Like, the units never stop moving. They're always driving somewhere on the way back or from somewhere. It's just silly. Now the Banshees show up to the fourth base. This base is a cancel. Nothing you can do about it. Queens are still busy defending those Hellions after all. This is why we've seen those queen splits become more and more popular, because if you just have queens in a single group and then there's 2 groups of attack, like what Clem is doing, it just becomes so hard to deal with that. Like, so if you have all 5 queens in one group, yeah, life is gonna suck. Lings now dying, queens were not in position. Solar's actually gonna go for a surround here, gets 3 Hellions, loses a bunch of lings, but at least that's going to relieve some of these queens from Hellion duty, and maybe finally can get a hatchery up over here on the fourth base.
yeah, maybe some opportunity to step through and actually get settled down, because again, Clem is just like you say, he's relentless. It's amazing he can play like this like every day. It's like, you'd think some days he'd at least just be a bit slower, a bit like, you know, lax about Hellions and stuff. But it's like every time he plays, consistency he shows up with is incredible. And I mean, Solar's just going to try and get to that Hydra Den again and see if he can do a better job of surviving this game.
Yeah. I'm not super hopeful about it, if I'm being real honest. He's struggling spending his cash right now. He just doesn't really have the larva available. Do we have any injects? Okay, we have an inject popping. Okay, we had a couple of injects popping there at the same time, so I hope it's going to be Hydras to get rid of that cash. We have 12 Banelings on the way. Centrifugal Hook's just now starting, Wardy. His Baneling Nest was relatively late. I think a Ling run by could be a tool to kind of figure out what's, you know, if we can do something here, but you just can't hold this fort. I just don't think it's possible. He's gonna try. Baneling's not in position. Hellions in the back. Banshee in the back. Tank is gonna get cleared at least. That's a start. The target fire of the tank wasn't good there either. I think he could have shot at least once or twice at those Banelings.
Yeah.
Especially because they were slow.
100%. Yeah, I think he could have done a lot more there as Beon Hydra gathers together. The Marines and the Reaper are going to step up. Queens will take some damage. Grenade going down. And just see our little bit of a push continuing. The combat shield coming about. CC, Armory continue to come through for the moment. Continue to get sold.
Yeah, I mean, 4th base survives. There's not a whole lot of creep, but it's alive. 5th base almost done. 1-1 finishing up. Baneling speed finishing up. Supplies looking okay. The only minor downside is that we're not up to 80, 82, 83 workers yet, but that's being fixed as well right now. So we're getting an infestation pit, 10 more drones, and if this next incoming push doesn't deal significant damage, I think we might actually be heading into a game where we'll see a high finish.
That's exciting.
It is.
See what we can do, the Banes. Do a little bit to work with.
Okay, he's going to give up this this hatchery right now and send out a Ling run by. Not sure if it's enough Lings though. There's like 20 Lings or so. It's not a whole lot. That's the problem if you're playing these heavy Hydra styles. You just don't have so many Lings to go for run bys with. Losing that fort sucks, but you already had an alternate base. You're probably going to need to re-expand or keep expanding towards the top side at some point. The one bench is still active with the cloak. It's being so freaking annoying right now. It's insane to watch this. Hive hasn't started yet, +2 Carapace hasn't started yet. These are upgrades that are necessary for Solar to stay competitive in this game.
Yeah, needs to be cautious as the Marines will gather. There's going to be some feelings running through. Actually going to try and jump on the right side, on the left side, sorry. The Baneland's trying to get forward there. Not doing too hot. As you'll see the Marines continue to fire back on the right, and then this push on the bottom side continues. So Clem's still setting up. Solar's still bleeding out little by little. Hive will start for Solos. I think he knows he needs to just get there, but he's dying on the bottom. Dying on the top.
One-sided series.
GG.
Clem just... his TVZ seems insane again. No?
Yeah, his TVZ is really good. It's rough trying to play against it. I don't know what else to say. Brutal. Brutal, brutal, brutal. Alright, we're gonna go to Europe.
He has a TVZ rating of 3,968.
Has anyone been at 4K before?
Yeah, herO.
Yeah.
herO's been at 4K against TOS, I think.
Mm.
Maybe even against Terran. He's had it. Let's see, highest. Yeah, he was 4,068 against Protoss, 4,070 against Terran.
Jesus.
Yeah, on December 11, 2024, 4,068 against Protoss.
That's crazy.
He is crazy. What do you want me to say about that, Wardy? I can't.
I don't want you to say anything, man. It's just crazy. Okay,
It
just
is
leave it at
crazy.
that.
Do you also have to relog every time if you go from NA to
Yeah.
EU?
Yeah, I do.
EU to NA is safe though.
Yeah, EU to NA got better. Now NA to EU got worse.
It makes no sense.
The other yesterday, Solar couldn't log into NA.
Just all together?
No, I think just the same bug, like just authenticating, because it was like I would see him come online, but then he'd go offline again.
Yeah.
I was just like, this is the last. Yesterday I had so much downtime just waiting for players and stuff.
Freaking blows. I wonder what
Blows.
Clem's highest rating ever is.
You know,
Clem's highest rating ever is versus Xerxes right now.
that makes sense.
His overall highest rating was, I guess, after he won EWC, like the period, September 4th.
Bonkers.
You think Maru ever had like a 4K matchup? No, right?
DVT maybe? And he
No, his
was-
highest is 3,700
Wow.
against Zerg. Wow. Noob.
No. Isn't it?
MaxPax? PvP? No.
No, it's just not enough. I don't think.
No. His highest actually is his PvT. At January 22.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Dark
Yeah, no, it's
Rainer,
pretty-
no.
It kind of puts in perspective just how good some of those streaks are in those matchups.
Yeah. Clem is low in his TVT right now, though. But I guess it's because
Does
he's
he-
playing
He
PvT.
hasn't played a TVT officially in a long time.
But I think they're counting his VT as PvT.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't think it's
I guess that makes
separate.
sense. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. That's funny.
I wonder if he thinks this is better or not.
What, playing Protoss?
Because ever since he started doing it, it has dropped his TVT. Right? Yeah.
But maybe he doesn't think it's better yet, but like if he keeps at it, maybe he really thinks he has more consistency playing PvT than he will playing TVT.
Yeah. Maybe. I think it's maybe a mistake.
Yeah. I think he just doesn't like TVT.
Yeah. I mean, it's fair. Like, I'm not blaming the guy for it, you know?
It's
You're allowed to not like stuff.
It's very anti-Clem, the way that matchup works.
Yeah, it's too calm.
Go sit back, relax, not too much.
Okay, so he started playing... I mean, it hasn't dropped that much, really. It's actually remained relatively stable. Like, maybe down like 50, 60 points or so. It's not crazy. It's playable.
Playable.
Yeah. Are they still vetoing? Wardy, we need to fix this.
MaxPax only logged in a minute ago.
What, but why?
Yeah, because he was on an A-mate. He's AFK. They're not watching the stream intently, waiting for the previous game to finish.
That's what I always do.
I would expect so. That's the way it should be. Have you got anything exciting going on this week?
My what?
Are you doing anything exciting this week?
No?
No?
I don't think so. Are you doing anything exciting?
No?
I have one exciting thing. I have my wedding anniversary of 2 years this week.
2 years. Damn.
Yeah. It's pretty exciting. No one thought it would even last a year, so being here at 2, proving the hate is wrong.
So what are you gonna... Are you celebrating?
Yeah, it's none of your business. Keep your nose out of my marriage, Wardy.
Okay. I mean, talk about StarCraft, but the videos are taking forever. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, that's fine. I heard you're coming over soon. Is that true?
Yeah. It's true.
In March, is that correct?
That is correct, yeah. In like 4 weeks.
What do you want to do?
I don't know. What do you want to do?
We don't really have anything good in the Netherlands, to be honest.
I'm just accompanying, you know, like...
Yeah. I think it's best, honestly, if we just split off. You and I, we go do something else than what they do. They'll do weird stuff, you know? I mean, probably you'll prepare some touristic duties. But I think it would be more fun. We could just go to like a pub or something.
We just go sit and chill. Play some,
I think I really like that you're just sitting. We can chat.
We
could do a meetup. There's loads of Dutch people. I could do like a meetup with stream viewers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Do they have beers and stuff? I think it would be sick.
Yeah, I'm down. Like I said, I'm just coming along for the ride.
Yeah. And then they can join us later as well. I think it would not be a bad idea.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm very, very easy. Yes.
Like a Sunday morning?
Yeah, like a Sunday morning. It's so cheap to get to the Netherlands free compared to anywhere else.
Yeah. It's practically free.
Yeah, it's actually insane. It's something like 5 times cheaper than what's cost me to go to KLRS's wedding.
Really?
Yeah. Because it's just like a direct flight instead of a connection. It's like the connection that uses the flight to the Netherlands anyway, so it's like I don't get it, but
Yeah.
I think they know we have no other choice.
All right, Wardy.
All right, let's do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, today we have a final that not many had expected. Waking up this morning on the Monday, seeing Clem and MaxPax sign up. I'm not sure how many people could have predicted both of these titans of StarCraft 2 being in the finals at the same time. Because this is a rare treat, my dear friends. Did you know that over the past 5 years, they've played 297 series against each other or something like that?
297 series?
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah. It's like hundreds of like 600 competitively as well, right? Like they basically played each other on average 1 series a week. On average. That is really crazy.
Yeah. I remember when herO and Clem were playing each other like once a week, and we thought that was insane. These guys actually play each other like 2 or 3 times a week, and then they take a vacation every now and then when there's like an event.
Yeah.
That's wild.
It is truly quite something. All right. We've seen this a lot, so we kind of can figure out how it's going to go. Ideally, MaxPax wants to go into some type of blink opener, whether that's going to be a 3-gate blink or with a prism or without a prism. That, you know, he'll decide on that a bit later on in the game. Ooh, he's late with a pylon. 22 supply pylon. Is this new?
I don't know.
Hey, he's gonna look at it. He forgot his warp, his cybercore. His cybercore is 6 seconds too late for whatever reason. That's a terrible start. Did he do an instant scout or something?
I was not paying attention. I literally was.
Yeah, me neither.
I was listening to your epic intro.
This is weird. 6 seconds late on that. It's very, very late. It's, might actually lose a probe as a result of that. That's painful. That's very painful. Plus battery as well. So he can't even really easily send across the map. If he doesn't get the Reaper kill, I think this opener is probably as bad as the first 2 minutes and 35 seconds can go for MaxPax. Like, this is the worst scenario. Absolutely. The worst timeline. Stargate as well. This is not what I had expected either. It's gonna go Adept, Stalker, Stargate. Whenever I see a fast Stalker with a Stargate, I'm always smelling an Oracle and not so much a Phoenix.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, let's see what pops out of that in the next couple of moments, because he's definitely thrown some curveballs early in the series. He's going to be a Phoenix right away, though. The Reaper does not go to that right side. Now he will. And now he's going to get a full scout. So Clem going to confirm what this is as well, which is huge, because now he can play around that Stargate.
Yeah, I don't even think... Like, Clem wasn't even considering the fact that it could be Stargate, you know? He was just like, okay, it's going to be Blink again. But then he doesn't get lazy. It's not like he'll be like, oh, okay, he plays like Blink 95% of the time. Let me not check. But no, he always checks. He's so consistent in his output, this guy, man. Now, there is a build that we've seen quite a bit out of Terran players in the past few weeks. And when I say Terran players, I mean mainly Clem. I've seen some other Terrans now trying to follow suit. And what they do is they get Cyclones. They get 1 or 2 Vikings from the starport initially. And then they swap starport with the barracks, and they start pumping tanks and more Vikings, and they'll do like a slow marine tank Viking push out, and it's really freaking strong against these Phoenix Colossus builds. Really freaking strong.
There you go. A couple Marines pulling back, obviously with all the anti-air building up. It's going to be pretty rough. If Clem starts going across the other side, we'll see what MaxPax can do. Gotta be super careful with these Phoenixes, you know what? Not want to let those get caught early or anything. That could be a disaster.
Yep. There we go. You see that? That starport flying over? I think MaxPax was scouting for it, by the way. Earlier, we watched the game between Goblin and Clem, and MaxPax was in my chat, and he was like, I don't know what is correct, but I don't think you should be building Phoenix against this. And then he mentioned wanting to build Stalkers and maybe Charge, and we discussed it a little bit with no real solution to the problem, but I think he was really trying to scout for it, but Clem did a good job hiding the fact that this is what is happening. So he's going for like a push out here, but this is not the real push out. This is just to kind of control the Phoenixes, to keep them at home, make sure there's no fast third base, and Clem is doing a good job at that. Does need to be careful that this Phoenix counterattack now is not just going to pick off 2 Vikings for free. That's exactly what's going to happen here, Wardy.
Yep, just going to be able to get a couple of grabs, and Clem getting caught. That's exactly what you want to do with the Phoenix, right? Find some value, start slowing this down, shutting it down a little bit, as we do have now the ability to get into this mineral line as well. So you're going to get some SCVs, and these Phoenix begin to pay for themselves, which is exactly what you're looking for as MaxPax.
Hell yeah. Good damage there. Phoenix also manages to stay alive, gets the full scout. Immortal. I really wonder if he's going to add in a Colossus or not. Okay, he's going to add in a Colossus. I think if he killed 2 Vikings like he did, maybe continuing Phoenix production is okay. But You know what the problem is, Wardy? Is that Vikings are just really, really good against toss. Like, against Phoenix Colossus, like, Vikings are so sick. Like, they just own Phoenixes. If you have 6 Phoenixes against, like, 4 Vikings, that's not a nice trade for the Phoenix most of the time. Like, this type of stuff just happens. You can't fly in. If you're going, you have to commit. And Colossus aren't great at that. So we're going to see MaxPax actually collapse on top of this army. We get a lift on one of those tanks. Vikings in the air dealing a lot of damage. As Clem is actually going to keep this position alive. This is not necessarily great news here. We have another Viking moving across. There's one tank still alive. Colossus now is out. MaxPax should be capable of actually blasting this, but the Phoenixes will die. The Colossus is going to go down as well.
So yeah, turned into a pretty fun game because Clem succeeds really on this push too. Immortal's still around though. Don't know if Clem can really go in for much more. Like, he succeeds, he would have to drop the Vikings on the ground now, which is obviously going to make them pretty vulnerable. So,
yeah, you can't.
Yeah, so then he doesn't, I don't think he has enough on the ground to really push through any further, but got some value out of this when MaxPax started off pretty well. Now Clem pulls back, gets the tank joining up here. Now this army of MaxPax is still chasing forward, and Clem will take the lock on with the Cyclone. Try and get something done, lose the Cyclone, siege tank gets sieged up at least. Yeah, back and forth as Clem starts the bio upgrade, so we'll eventually be able to get up to those as well.
Awkward game, no?
Oh, absolutely.
Like, if you're MaxPax in this case, yeah, just going into a Templar Archives, I think makes the most sense. And just kind of saying, screw your air units. Like, it's nice that you have 6 Vikings, but I don't want you to get any use out of those anymore. Because the bad trade has already happened. Like, keep adding in more Colossus and Phoenixes to deal with the Vikings. It just feels like you're walking straight into a counter to your composition already. So I like this switch up into Templar Archives. MaxPax's eco isn't necessarily that bad compared to Clem's. So eco-wise, he's doing fine. It was just tech where it was awkward. So seeing him transition into Templar Archives, I'm a fan of that. I'm not a fan of this Colossus Wardy. I really am not. You know, I wouldn't mind seeing Fast Storm in this case. If you just add Storm and like 1-2 Archons, you just pump Immortals like your life depends on it. Like, the army supply looks scary. If you look at Clem's army, it is pathetic. It's like 6 Vikings in there. They don't really do a whole lot. Yeah,
no, it's you're just kind of giving the Terran a way to utilize their tools they've already made instead of making them useless. Clem stepping forward right now is going to have the Immortals in the front. Is going to get one in the below. Doesn't go down though. Support by the tank right in the back. Couple Widowmines get in position too. There's a Colossus that pops, and if Clem sees that, he will be able to lift those Vikings back up. Right now they're on the ground. Yeah, instantly we lift up, and we're going to fly them into a natural that currently has no anti-air, and 2 Stalkers warp in, but yeah, Clem's is going to be like, okay, I think there's an opportunity for me to break through in this direction, and MaxPax is going to be bleeding out here, down half the army supply here and there, depending on the warp-in timing. I mean, this Colossus is going to die, and Vikings can get back on the ground, get back to tanking. The Widowmines have been doing some work already. We try and set one off with a Stalker. Good split away. Eats only the single Zealot on the Widowmine shot, but Clem's army is kind of low HP, but it just doesn't matter because he's got too much stuff. GG.
Wow. Yeah. That's it. That's the stuff, Wardy. Impressive, no?
Beautiful.
He just does it.
It even felt like it was so bad for him at first, and then just he made it work. Clem has some voodoo powers, I swear. Ley lines map 2.
Sorry?
Ley lines for map 2.
Oh yeah, ley lines. I don't care about that.
I'll not inform you of the map next time then. It's all good.
No, about like, it's not. It's like not a game-changing information, you know. It's like I care about you mentioning it, but it's like
I was
like,
just filling the audio channels, you know.
Yeah, that's fine. You want to do any shoutouts?
I don't think I have any shoutouts.
Okay, I'll do it then. Thank you, Erdbeer Gnome, for resubscribing for 45 months.
Huge.
Huge. You saw I hit like 110 months or something on your channel?
Yeah, insane. I can't believe you subbed me so early on. That's some foresight right there. Making friends with the guy that runs online tournaments seems like a good plan.
Why was that a good plan for me? The amount of
all the
time that I've wasted playing your tournaments, getting knocked out in the first round, it's very bad return on investment.
But no, it was a great plan.
And on top of that, I also had to be nice to you, so it's a double loss.
It was a great plan. You just, didn't execute on your plan very well.
That's true, yeah.
Imagine all the great seeds and invites you could have had if you just didn't get knocked out straight away every time.
True. Very true. Oh, he's gonna do the proxy barracks. He's been doing this more often.
Hey, did you see him versus herO yesterday when he won off those?
No.
herO just decided he didn't need a battery. And
he lost his Nexus.
Yeah, he lost the Nexus and a lot of Stalkers to the Reapers. And I mean, a Cyclone showed up before he got rid of the bunker.
Yeah.
So it was bad.
I once was I was complaining to like Clem about this build being too strong. So we spent like an hour just going over it. And then at some point like MaxPax joined in as well. And both Clem and MaxPax told me that this build is really bad. Like Clem was like, I don't think it's viable anymore. And MaxPax was like, it's not viable. It's no good. I was like, man, if it's like in your natural, I think it's freaking strong. And both of them were like, no. It's can't play it anymore. And that's all Clem played like last week or something. And then now he's playing it again. It's like, all right, buddy. You guys are lying to me.
Well, maybe he just took your advice.
True. Oh, that's a nice bunker placement.
Yeah.
You can dance around that.
Oh.
Oh.
So annoying.
One more, baby. One more.
Clem.
One more. Oh, correct.
Good SUV. Probably just
Is he gonna cancel the Nexus?
Yeah.
No, you can't.
Well, what's the probe doing? I guess saving itself from the Reaper. Oh, he might still get a bunker.
No, he's going for the battery.
Good choice.
He needs two.
Because that battery's in range of the bunker, no?
Yeah, you need to. You just need to. You can't do this with one. Okay. Look at this SEV micro. You're never gonna catch it. Oh, come on. Really? Are you serious? Clem? Oh my god. I hate this guy so much.
He makes you look like an idiot when you're in the game and out the game.
Yeah. That's actually such a big deal as well, losing that.
Yeah, it completely changes the outcome of it.
Yeah, he's throwing for content.
Big day, Clem. He didn't want it to be too easy. Appreciate
This is the reverse of what happened with me earlier. You remember that with the, Clem is not microing so well today. And then he starts like picking up like on side delta.
Yeah, that was a great clip.
Come on.
This is a 100% belief in Clem. Instantly loses the SUV.
Yeah.
It's not even like it happened after a while. It was like the second shot.
Yeah, the first time he tried.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unbelievable. Ooh, his Stalker. Ooh, is it in trouble? I mean, I'm not sure if it's in trouble or if, Clem is the one in trouble here. Because that mine is gonna die. Reaper will stay alive, I think. Stalker will die as well, but so will the Reaper. Gonna get maybe another SCV kill or so. Barracks coming back home. We're not gonna have a Cyclone anytime soon. Viking on the way out. Aye.
It's gonna land and that will try and help us here. As the SCVs hide behind that Widow mine for the moment.
I'm gonna keep it a $150 with you here. Like this is not looking great for Clem.
What's a $150 mean? Just like honest?
Yeah.
I just don't know
I'm keeping it real with you.
Isn't
that what the kids say?
I don't know, but I'm gonna find out.
Everything just died, Barty.
It did, yeah. I was watching while I was Googling.
And?
What?
Updates on the lingo?
Oh, I know. I need more time to figure it out.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It's understandable. You can also just ask ChatGPT. They're often quicker than Google nowadays. Maybe less accurate, but the answers always provide for.
But if the answer isn't
trip.
obvious on Google, I don't know if ChatGPT is also going to be able to find it,
Nah, you'd be surprised. These guys, they know what's up. Okay, we have a Raven coming out here for our boy. Clem actually might be going for a committed 3-1-1 push without stim combat. No, he's not. He tricked me there. He built a Marine out of the barracks, and I was like, okay, this could be something cool, but it's just going to be a fairly standard setup here. He has a mine in the natural. He has a Raven there as well. Whenever the Terran keeps the Raven at home, it's usually bad news. Okay, he's going to need to retarget with the mine. Did not do that. Bunker is going to fall instantly. Auto turret comes down. Bunker stays alive. Do we have a tank in the main? We have a tank in the main. Wardy. I think Clem might be planning on staying alive here.
I do think that's its plan.
I think it's a good idea.
So apparently it just means to be straightforward and not try to deceive or sugarcoat things. It's slang for $1.50, which is used as a casual way to just be truthful.
Yeah. Keep it $1.50 with you, buddy.
I just never heard of it.
Keeping it real.
Yeah, sure. I just can't keep up with the lingo, man.
Yeah, that's fine. This is an interesting fight because a lot of these stalkers are very low. They could fall. Yeah, 2 of them will actually go down. Observer goes down too. Only 3 SCVs fall. Stim halfway done. I think 1 tank went down there. We still have a tank on the low ground. Damage output of this army is actually fairly decent. If you get the +1... the freaking fort base is so fast though for MaxPax.
That's the problem right now. He's going to keep you pinned in for a while. Now getting back out onto the map is going to be a struggle for Clem, and it's the moment where the Stalkers get a couple more SCVs. He's going to lose one if he's not careful, but nope, timing was perfect.
He's always careful. Did you know that you could blink in, shoot, pick up?
No, I had no idea, but I just learned that.
Yeah, I probably should have known that, shouldn't I?
Probably, but like... yeah.
Yeah, no, there's really no excuse. I probably should have known that. I thought he was definitely... I thought, yeah, you're going to have to pick up before the second shot, but I guess you can just do that. That's epic.
Maybe you have to be super precise with the timing of the pickup, though.
Yeah, I mean... Maybe that's it. Maybe I've tried it before. Yeah. I lost 3 stalkers.
Yeah. You probably tried it, but like you picked up like 0.1 second late, so it's like goodbye 3 stalkers. You're like, well, that doesn't work. You know, you became a better player. You never do it again. MaxPax is like, no, you just do it properly.
Yeah. It's possibility. It is definitely possible that that's what happened. Okay, we're gonna have a 3rd CC on the high ground down for Clem. Clem is just down in supply by so much. I'm not sure how Clem knows that there's going to be a fort base, because this move out is pretty wild. If this was a regular 3 base and MaxPax would have gotten, you know, like 1-2 extra warp-in, like 1 extra warp-in of Zealot, this move out would have been even more suicidal than it already is.
Yep. We're just gonna be seeing those Zealots getting caught a little bit in the force fields, but I guess some good damage on them. A couple of Wooden Mines get burrowed up in the back. Colossus and extended thermal lance coming through. There's a couple of Zealots will charge forward as well. We just get toward that bunker, and there's a couple of Wooden Mines burrow on top as well. So the counterattack from MaxPax won't go far, but Clem just does not have a lot overall, right? And he's going to be up against a MaxPax who's teching further and better at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we're going to see the second forge. Like, we know what path MaxPax likes to kind of walk down from here on out. Like, second forge, fast 5th base, then we're going to see second robo at some point, then prisms. He's going to be aggressive on the map with basically a Colossus army and then Zealots going everywhere. And the plan is just to keep shaving off units and trade while he's outmining you by a significant margin.
Stalker stepping through, Wooden Mines going off, the little bit of bio up top is pushing some of the Zealots back as well. We do have Clem continue to just sit here and try and stay alive. I mean, his supply is not terrible, but again, against the Colossus, he might struggle a little bit. Can take a stim forward right now. Guardian Shield pops and MaxPax fights back. Does not want to walk into the Wooden Mines, though, and that's going to be a big point of defense for Clem as he pushes it away. Now just has to deflect the attack coming from the upper left.
Oh, Clem sends out 2 medevacs right now. That is a crazy thing to do in this moment. The clarity of mind to do something like that is insane. You have to be very secure of your position, and I don't think there's any way he feels secure in his position, so he's kind of bluffing here, and he's going to get away with it. He's going to kill at least these pylons. That's going to force MaxPax's army back. That might allow Clem for some more plays. MaxPax sends in those 5 Zealots as he sees the double drop, but Clem is in position to deal with it.
Yep. We're going to be seeing the Prism in the natural is going to be the issue for the moment. The Prism getting into the main base even. SCV's going down, a lot of workers dropping. Damage being done as we have the armory coming through from Clem to try and get to 2-2. It's a much longer term kind of factor as he's just going to keep losing Zealots. Someone could show back up on the 3rd base. At least there's a split there, and he does kill the Prism. So that is nice, and he's still competitive, although now MaxPax catches a medevac or so as well. And actually goes, units need to get the hell away. Clem needs to pull back. It was just a little slow. What's going on?
Lots going on indeed. 2-2 upgrade starting here for Clem. Who honestly, I don't want to say he has managed to stabilize, because I don't think his position is stable at all. Like, he's down an entire base. But I don't think he'll get killed before he maxes out. And if you're maxed out with Viking, Ghost, 2-2 upgrades, anything is possible.
Yeah, maxed out army is always going to have potential, right? He just needs a good couple of fights at this point, because MaxPax is getting not 1 but 2 Dark Shrines. So he'll have DTs accessible to him, and then Clem is obviously down on base as well. So Clem kind of needs to deal with harassment while also just finding a way to win a fight, get across the map, and at least shut down one base.
Yeah. Yeah. What if he just sits back and does nothing, though?
Well, that's fine if he just defends and he gets a base up as well, I guess. But if he sits back and does nothing, MaxPax can just double expand and get even further ahead, I feel like, in the long run.
Yeah, but how much further ahead can you really get? Like, whether you have like a 2k bank or a 10k bank, you know? Like, it's probably going to come down to like a couple of fights and like consistent good fights. I think that's what we're looking for Clem here.
Yeah.
This army split is crazy out of MaxPax, by the way. His bottom side army is way too small.
Yeah, he's dead on this bottom right side, so that's going to be a lot of units going down. He got some value out of it at first, but he loses both the Colossus there. He gets back in on the left, 22 dead SCVs. This Clem is trying to float a fourth in position. He will be able to take it in the forward location now, because that's the position he pushed an army away from, so he can at least get the fourth down. He was struggling to get it down up on the top side already. As the 2-2 upgrades continue in, a couple of DTs getting added on alongside a Shadow Stride upgrade.
I mean, at this point, it's going to be impossible for Clem to play a macro game, right? He's still trying, like he's re-adding the SCVs, but 53 to 77 is going to be tough. And Clem isn't maxed out either. That means that MaxPax can just start taking these really kind of inefficient trades, as long as he has enough production behind it, which I think he has. He's currently on 12 gates. He's adding a second robo. If he doesn't completely get wiped off the face of the earth, he should be fine.
Yep. Just needs to, I mean, honestly, just this is fine as well, right? Like, poking on the other side, like you said, as long as it doesn't take one horrendous fight where he can't reproduce before Clem gets across. His army is not great, right? Like, it's very Zealot Stalker heavy. I mean, obviously the DTs are going to be an annoyance now. Clem has to go and deal with this. I do worry a little bit about the quality of MaxPax's army, but he's starting to add some disruptors in too that will also make it difficult for Clem to push across quickly with one big shove.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the only thing MaxPax needs to be worried about is if he dies on his own side of the map with his army. So a lot of people, they'll look at this situation and are like, oh, why doesn't MaxPax just defend? Well, actually, the closer he is to his own production, the riskier it is to have this army, right? The closer you are to your opponent, the more use you can make of your bank before your opponent hits you again. So MaxPax is ensuring himself that he's going to have a second fight. Well, if he defends at home, then yes, he might have a better defensive position and he's with batteries and cannons, but he might not have actually a second army that is as big. And he wants to continuously be trading as well, so just being aggressive makes a lot of sense, right? You want to use your bank. Like, the bank sitting there doesn't do anything, you want to use it.
Yeah, we are going to be seeing the bio. It should be a good fight for Clem. The Disruptor lands, but most of them are orders that don't die from it. And you're using those Disruptors to try and push Clem back a little bit, but Clem's going to get the jump now. Those Disruptors will fall. Again, it's the Zealots and the DT that just run into a base at the same time. But Clem gets right across the map. Base will go down. You get reduced back down to full bases as MaxPax, but you already have a bit of a bang, but this is an issue. Like, he's not being stopped at all. The Zealot run by is being stopped. The Robo facility now going down, so some Disruptor production halted. We've got 2 more Robos. It's not the end of the world, but Clem is going to get serious work done. He loses his third base, however, so that gets a bit out of hand, but he kills yet another Disruptor. Out of medevac energy almost. Going to have to stim again shortly, so that might be a problem as well. Disruptor from the flank, and Clem has to lift up. What does he lose? Nothing as he starts to unload. He wants to kill that Nexus. He does finish it off, and he goes into the main base. We recall Zealots there, but Zealots alone might not be good enough, and we're also going to lose the +3 attack upgrade. Wow. What a crazy situation.
This is a crazy situation indeed. +3 going down, 1 base falling, a bunch of workers I think going down too. Clem not paying attention, though, is going to lose 2 medevacs for free. I do believe that MaxPax is coming out of this, the victor out of this little trade. Like, his bank is just too big, and Clem is now giving him too much time. For a second, I almost started to believe if he lands like the Vikings he has left, it's like, well, this is feeling pretty close, you know?
Yeah, no, I kind of felt like this was a I felt like Clem was doing it, but MaxPax had a ton of money to spend. So for all the bases that Clem gets rid of, MaxPax is out of money, but Clem didn't have that money to spend himself, and Clem was obviously losing stuff throughout this as well. And MaxPax realized Clem has a lot of supply just stuck in the bottom of the map, so he's going to start attacking the other side with a larger force. I don't think Clem holds on to this. Maybe the planetary can have something to say. Clem gets back in the main, but there's units here to defend. That's just the difference in numbers. MaxPax seems to be good in every portion of the map at the moment.
Yeah, Clem is trying to defend at home over here on the third base, or what was once his main base, floating over towards the third base location. 3-3 has finished up for him right now. He's down 40 supply. He's just lacking ghosts as well, right? He has 2 total, and there's stuff happening everywhere. Tried once again to drop into the main base. GGG. As MaxPax going to tie up this series.
Game, good game, he says as we tied up. Yeah, 1-1. Fantastic game in the end because Clem was kind of dead throughout, but did enough to stay alive and gave him the chances, which is what makes it so fun to watch him play a lot of the time. Just the ability to do things that maybe you don't expect to be manageable.
Yeah. Good stuff, man. Do you think I have time to visit the restroom, Wardy?
Just join the game now and then go.
Okay.
You got this. Sorry guys, my voice is for some reason dying a bit today. So apologies for being quiet here and there. Don't know what's up with it. We are going to go to El Dorado though for this third map. It's 1-1 in the finals. Best of 5, of course. I'm kicking into this momentarily. Alright, let's hop through. As you're going to have in the bottom left-hand side, the red Protoss player to start us off in this best of 5 game 3. It is MaxPax. He is taking on Clem in the bottom right, our blue Terran player. We'll see where we get to with this game 3. Let's see what the openings want to be. See if MaxPax is back to Blink. Maybe some more Stargate, mix it up a little bit. It's not the best map for Blink, so we'll see what he wants to do on this one. Over the next few moments, we get that all set and ready, and away we go. Sub-Zero has left the game. Huge.
Yeah.
Yeah. Welcome back.
Thank you.
No problem. I hope you had a good break.
Good toilet break.
Yeah, I hope it was fulfilling.
Is there filling? I haven't eaten yet a whole lot today. I skipped breakfast. I think that was a mistake.
Definitely a mistake.
Then I had a small lunch. I think sometimes it's better not to eat than to have like a small amount of food, you know what I mean? Because if you eat a little bit, then, you know, your stomach gets angry. It's like, oh, you just gave a little, you know, it's like teasing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what are you doing at the same time, Wardy? You don't seem like you're engaged with me at all.
My throat's dying.
No, really? You should get some strepsils then. They don't work, but they're kind of tasty.
I have strepsils on my desk. They're good for numbing your throat. They don't actually fix anything. They just make it slightly less annoying. I don't think it would actually help me talk.
Yeah. I ate a strepsil yesterday. I had no throat problems, but I was just hungry.
I always find like if you start eating a little bit, you just want to eat. It's, yeah.
I had that very strongly indeed.
It's a pain.
Yeah, it really is a pain. All right, here we go. MaxPax, Adept, Warby. You know what the problem is on this map, Wardy? Is that... Oh, he's going to go for a 3-gate pressure here. Or 2... No, it has to be 3-gate pressure. I was going to say the problem on this map is that you don't have so many options. So one of the options you have is to play like a defensive setup Blink. And then the other option you have is to play like Stargate. Because aggressive Blink on the map, like where the hell are you going to Blink? Like over the gold minerals? No, you can't really do that. So there's only one direction you can attack, which makes it bad. So I've seen some robo builds on this map. I'm not a huge fan of them. herO likes them. Skillet is okay with them. But the thing that I'm really looking forward to is this 3-gate. I hadn't even considered that as an option. That's what makes it so exciting.
Definitely a bit unique and aggressive as well. We've seen a lot of the players getting aggressive lately. herO was really loving the aggression against Clem yesterday too, like a lot of 3-gating and kind of getting up in the face of his opponent super early. And MaxPax has also had that tendency, it feels like, lately. So fun to see. We'll see what happens as we have our CC just moving across to the natural location. But yeah, these units are going to start applying pressure. Obviously, the Twilight Council on the way now, but it is delayed. So if you don't get a lot done with these initial gate units, that it can be a little bit rough that you're behind, because you're not just going to be behind on Blink, but you're behind on a potential charge upgrade later as well. Like, it can really throw you off throughout the game. As Clem, we're going to see this now and has to start pulling back. Fortunately, he's going to have a tank popping out soon, but he's already going to lose 2 Marines, 3, and that's a painful start as he loses a 4th as well. Tank finally here.
Yeah, Cyclone lock-on is good here though, as the Reaper Bounds help the Cyclone stay alive. Gonna get another lock-on over here. Might be capable of getting one more Stalker. Will barely not get it. Matter of fact, gets a couple of shots on it. As this is gonna get pushed back. It's not like the eco is really bad here for MaxPax, by the way. Like, this is fine economy for MaxPax. He's up 13 workers still. He killed a couple of these bad boys. If there is no counter damage out of Clem, I actually don't mind MaxPax's position.
No. That's a fair point as the Blink is going to start up on the Twilight Council. A couple of assimilators will come through from MaxPax.
Ooh.
And a Raven from Clem is. He does get the medevac through the bottom, but MaxPax is moving in position to deal with it.
Is this Templar Archives then? He doesn't like playing 2-base Colossus, right?
I don't think so. I don't see him play 2-base Colossus a lot, but it'd be kind of a weird time to go Archives, no?
My rule is that if you're gonna get very late tech, I'd rather have it be the Archives than the Robo Bay. I mean, this would be a really late Robo Bay if you're asking me. Like a really late Robo Bay, because you're starting at like 5:30. Like usually by the time Stim finishes, you'd have like half a Colossus done in that case. So okay, now it's actually gonna go for wow. Okay, I'm surprised by that. That Colossus is gonna be late as hell.
Definitely should give Clem an opening opportunity at some point here as we try and press forward against these Stalkers. We're going to get 1 kill right there. The Marines flank, going to get rid of one of the low HP Stalkers now. Another Cyclone lock-on is good, and Clem, oh my goodness, gets so much value. Obviously, Blink just not done, so there's so much you can do with these Stalkers. There's a great little flank with the medevac, making a great use of it. Pops the Guardian Shield on the high ground already. Clem seems to want to fight that anyway. Obviously, he killed a lot of Stalkers here, so he might just feel like he has the numbers to do this. Sieges up 1 tank is going to limit where you can be as MaxPax. He has a couple of Stalkers still in the center. Now with Blink, he's actually going to dive in to try and get this siege tank. It's going to get it, but it costs him every Stalker. GG.
Wow, Jesus. Dude, this game flipped on its head in like 10 seconds.
That was an insane push. And just
insane push.
So many Stalkers go down. It was the medevac from the left, right, that really suddenly, you can't keep running left. You have to run up and left, and the units on the right got a few more shots. The units on the left got a couple kills.
Yeah,
made a big difference.
It was crazy. It doesn't make any sense already.
MaxPax is trying to move out and getting punished for it. Oof.
That's what you get for delaying Blink. There you go with your 3-gate pressure. How about that, huh?
3-gate pressure sucks. That's why I just learned. That's why I figured.
True.
You know, I've never done 3-gate pressure. MaxPax should have copied me.
Sensible. Very sensible.
Sensible. Kings go.
Should we give Clem a build?
You want to give Clem a build up 2-1? I don't think he'll listen
No, he
to
doesn't
you.
need it.
Don't think he'll listen to you.
Well, he would 100% listen.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe Clem's waiting for a build because he's not ready.
No, I won't give him. MaxPax got upset with me the other day that I kept giving Clem more builds.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't think it's nice to do. Me and Max are also friends. I just like seeing Terrans win.
All right, let's hop on into King's Cove as we get into map number 4. The first opportunity to win this finals. MaxPax is down 1-2 over Clem. Big map, King's Cove. Good one to set up your base on, sit back on. If we get to a later game between these two, I think that'll be very fun, but we've obviously seen many a reason why these two stop each other from getting to those late games as well.
Yeah. It's it's a tough matchup. What can I say? It's crazy because it feels like both of them can kill the other at any point in the game as well. And that kind of makes it interesting. Very often you have these kind of one-sided things where, you know, in TVZ, Clem doesn't really die in the first 5 minutes, but he can kill in the first 5 minutes. You know, he basically is just killing. And then some people, they can go head-to-head. But here it's like MaxPax can kill, Clem can kill. Really, at any point in time, one of them could walk across the map and win the game at like a feeling, in a kind of random way, which is cool. It keeps the games fresh, despite them, you know, playing each other an absolute marathon. Yeah.
Yeah, it is actually very true. It's like, while Clem and MaxPax happens a lot, it's still very fun. There's a reason people still watch it, because it isn't just the same every time. Like, yeah, MaxPax does a lot of the blink openers, but the games play out very differently, very, very frequently. So, yeah, it was fun to watch.
I mean, we've had like a semi-base rate already in this game. The previous game made no sense. The first game made no sense. Like, we're eating good. Do you know what that means? That we're eating good?
Yeah.
You can also just say we're eating, you know? That's what they say.
Yeah.
Yeah, or you can say like he ate.
He ate.
Yeah, and he's like, he did something cool. Or he did something sick.
I understand that reference. I'm not that far to touch, I guess.
Nice.
Not in this regard.
Yeah, I'll just keep keeping you on the...
Yeah, no, keep me in check.
Yeah, in the loop. All right. This is world's most boring build out of Clem. It's a Reaper 1 gas expand. He used to love to play this. I always say that when Terrans play 1 gas Reaper into Marine, that usually there's something wrong with the matchup. Because that is like... That build is basically saying, I want to get into the most standard game in the entire world. Like, as long as it, like, basically saying, I want to survive for 6 minutes, please. Like, that is literally all you're doing. You're not going to win the game majority of the time off of a 1 gas Reaper Marine opener. It's just not a thing. It just doesn't exist. Like, very rarely will you see like a medevac with a mine fly in at like 440 and the Protoss going, let me lose 12 workers to that. No, you're gonna kill like 2 probes and you'll lose both mines. That is the standard interaction with this build order, and that's kind of what you're aiming for. So it's usually a sign of confidence. Whenever I see Terrans play a lot of 2 gas, they usually don't feel so confident in the matchup.
Fun way of looking at it.
You remember when Cure had his like crazy streak?
Yeah, 2023.
Yeah. Reaper Marine every single game, baby. This guy, he had no shame. He had such a good streak.
I know. I was just about to say, it was crazy how good he was at TVP for like 2 to 3 months.
Yeah.
And then just went back to being normal. Like,
yeah, he just quit.
Yeah.
He just stopped being good at it.
Yeah.
It made no sense. And the weirdest part is that he didn't have like a strategy. You know, sometimes a player that isn't a top player will perform very well in a certain matchup because they figured like out a certain strategy or a way of attacking, you know, like they do something different. But he was playing legitimately world's most standard Terran versus Protoss in the entire world, and he was just owning everyone. He's just eating them alive every single time. And then after 3 months of just destroying every toss consistently, I was like, all right, I'm done. Back to losing games, playing the same style. It made 0 sense.
You just got lucky for like 3 months, I don't know.
It's like the timeline, you know? It's like if it is like 0.01% chance, like someone's got to get it. And that was Cure. Yeah, it's surreal. Crazy 3 months for him. It's going to be a fast Raven here, by the way. So he's skipping the Maverick drop. This is a really cool build. It's one of my favorites against 3-gate Blink. The reason why I say that is because one of the problems with 3-gate Blink is that if nothing hits you, it is so uncomfortable because you don't know how many Stalkers you want to keep at home. While if there's like a mine drop, for example, and you stop the mine drop, you kill the medevac or you kill both mines, you can say, okay, this was nice. I can now send all Stalkers across the map. The next threat is going to be a relatively late Raven. But because nothing has hit yet, actually you're forced at keeping 2, maybe even 3 Stalkers at home. And then the Raven can still deal damage. It's going to deny mining time, kill 1 or 2 workers. So this feels completely fine here for Clem. Ooh, second tank also pops out. Bunker on the low ground is available. Like, this opener is really freaking smooth for Clem. And he still has the ability to deal some damage. Yes, it's going to be late damage, but I think it will be fine.
Stalker's going to catch an add-on, and they will get it deeper in the corner as well. Clem going to have to step the siege tank a bit further forward just to provide some better coverage as his tech labs come under fire, but that little bit of an edge forward is good enough to keep this combat shield alive. It actually is good enough to keep the combat shield alive, so very well done there. And he gets 4 probes across the map currently with the Raven. Big pull probe away as well. So we get those probes pulled back, and Stalkers will put a bit more pressure on. The tank steps up just a little further. Beautiful defense from Clem. Great combination with the Raven coming in too.
Yeah, crazy good defense. It's quite a bit of cash lost there for MaxPax. So it's 4 workers. He has 2 workers that are still not mining. That's going to cost him dearly as well. So he needs to make a decision right now. It's like, do I want to warp in more Stalkers, or do I need to start adding gateways at home? And I am not sure if he can go for like 2 more Stalker warp-ins. He doesn't even have charge yet here, Wardy. I think he forgot.
That's not great. If you're gonna remain behind on in this game, it doesn't set up great, then being late on charge isn't going to help you too much. He's going to start going toward it now, so maybe he gets away with it. I mean, Clem has the upgrades finishing. There's a realistic chance he moves across the map fairly soon.
Yeah, for sure. We have another auto turret coming. He's going to get 2 more workers and a little bit of damage here on that Stalker as well. Raven stays alive. This is the King's Cough problem as well, right? Like, you can never catch this freaking Raven. It's so close yet so far. Super annoying. Stalker's in the front now will need to start putting in some work, but he actually loses a Stalker while trying to kite there. We have a robotics bay, which is like 70-60% done. You have concussive shells that's about to finish up. I mean, I'm having trouble seeing MaxPax hold this, if I'm being real honest.
It's a difficult push. I mean, Io's already coming across. Clem being very safe, pre-sieging those tanks very early on right now. The Prism is on the other side as well. That's going to be potentially trying to go in, but there's already units in position, so the cell does nothing. The Prism has to hold back and maybe delay the third from landing is kind of where we're at right now, which is not great. Clem's going to pull back. He's going to give MaxPax some more time. And, yeah, he's going to let MaxPax maybe have a better shot at staying alive in this one.
Yeah. I'm not so sure if this is giving him a lot of chances of staying alive. Clem is still set up in the middle of the map, so he has a relatively short rush distance. I wonder if he's just going to give up like mining in his main and net or a third for a little bit and say, I want to run across right now, because I wouldn't mind it.
Yeah, Viking here is going to be really nice, because now you can actually kill that Prism, so that is going to be guaranteed dealt with, and now Clem can more so fully focus on the other side. He is still going to have a good army supply lead. The first Colossus is out, a couple tanks still to support though. If he can just edge his way towards that 4th base, put himself in a good spot, he can really control the ramp. And that makes it very difficult for MaxPax. Having to come down a ramp into tank shots is never going to be fun. Even the Stalker's turn the corner there is a bit rough, because you got a couple of probes with the Raven once again. That Raven's still alive in the back, so can continue to come in with auto turrets every so often.
Yeah, ooh, Zealots actually are going to be left alone. We have 2 mines at the 3rd base. We'll clear 2 Zealots before they get to hit. Quite a bit of damage as well on those Zealots. Maybe even an SCV pool can deal with those. At the same time, 4th base most likely will need to be cancelled. Clem pulling ahead further and further in supplies. The first set of Vikings has now arrived. This army is a little bit bruised. These 2 medevacts are going to be necessary to heal that up. Zealot flank will be good enough to snipe a single tank. 2nd tank will stay alive, and that was an expensive little flank there.
Yeah, a lot of units for a single tank. Tanks nice, but obviously getting less valuable over time. You know, at first they're really good at zoning the Colossus out, but now we're getting Vikings up. You're not as needing of the tanks as well, right? So losing one is not the end of the world for Clem, as he's going to back it up for now. He's already killed the 4th base off. It's a massive lead for him. He's established a great position, and he's going to take the advantage back away for the moment and then get set to come again, maybe with everything in a few moments from now, because he's going to max out way faster than MaxPax here.
1, 2, 3, 4 gases for Max. Does have thermal lance. Okay, so we've seen how Clem kind of approached coming back into the game, right? Like maxing out and then seeing if he can do something. I think for MaxPax, the way to get back into it here is to have a very big Zealot run by. And I'm talking like 8, 9, 10 Zealots or so. You see your opponent move out, you send them in, and you hope you can deal a lot of damage. Force maybe an all-in out of Clem when he isn't quite ready yet to fight. And then maybe you can do it. I always feel like if you're just trying to come back into the game with like these small amount of Zealot warpins, like if you're sending in 3 Zealots, you're gonna kill 7 SCVs max, you know? If you're sending in like freaking 15 Zealots, we could kill like 2 bases worth of SCVs.
Yep.
Oh,
Sub-Zero. He left earlier. Should have left this time too. Oh, he did. Good job. All right.
nice.
Quick fix.
Yeah. He's out of there real fast. Usually when the 4th base is at the same time for Terran and Protoss, it's a bad sign for the Protoss player. Although Clem is playing it kind of slow, if I'm being real honest with you. We have 10 Vikings. Wardy. 10!
That's a lot. Those Colossus are going to be in some trouble, no? It's going to be a little bit difficult. And he's got the Raven still harassing as well. Puts that in a good position, and yeah, maxed out. We're going to step forward here. Stalkers, need to be careful. I mean, that's not a good blink. It's not going to get them far enough away. So a bunch of Stalkers already going down. Love the Concussor Shells, targeting 2 different ones there to make sure he slows both of them. Very well handled by Clem as he just punishes those few Stalkers. And MaxPax tries to come in with the Prism right here. Clem does not have a lot of like anti-Prism defense in terms of like missile turret setup or anything preemptively. So has a couple of Ghosts in his main base, which are not exactly what you want. They go both going to die, so already a nice drop, nice attack from MaxPax.
Yeah, he's waiting some time. He's waiting some time for sure. I feel like Clem is kind of missing his timing window, no?
I feel like he should have been more actively ready to go.
Yeah, I mean, and you know that MaxPax is going to send in a Prism, right? So like 2, 3 Vikings towards the top, maybe 1 or 2 towards the bottom. I don't think that is a luxury. I think that's a necessity against a player like Max, but Clem didn't quite do that. Now the Stalkers are being pushed back. The main damage in this army will have to come out of the Disruptors though, because the Viking count is just simply too big. Like if you're fighting 3 Colossus with 10 Vikings, as the Viking man, you're going to be having an absolutely buzzing time over here. Vikings have +1 ship weapons as well. 2-2 is finishing up for Clem in 2 seconds, and he was waiting for that. So that's the timing he was waiting for. I feel like 1-1 and up 40 supply would have been better, but I still think this is going to be very, very good here for Clem. We don't really have the entire army here either for MaxPax. We now have Zealots coming in as a flank. It's kind of awkward here as more Disruptors are trying to connect. Colossus managed to stay alive as the Vikings were on a weird errand as well. So far, this honestly went better for MaxPax than I thought it should have.
Yeah, Clem made a bit of a weird dive. I think he really wanted to just get on top of some Disruptors already. He's going to try and turn on the Disruptors now. Forceful to try and buy you a little bit of space. The Colossus should just get shot down. The Vikings should be able to deal with that very easily. The Zealots flank back in from the other side. Clem is going to have to lift up and relocate here. As every Colossus does drop down, he gets back to the center, back to some of the static defense units like the tank and the Widowmine. And MaxPax still going to struggle, right? Because now he's really just on a Disruptor force, and he's only got 4, so he doesn't even have like kind of like endless count of Disruptors. So that's not exactly looking great either.
Yeah, these mines got a lot of damage here as well, like on the Zealots, and they killed a couple too. They're not the greatest cleanup there. There is a Prism out on the left side. There's no turret in the main base, so maybe there's something there. Disruptor shots need to be big. Oh! Those Ghost Wardy! So close to hitting the jackpot there. So close, but no cigar. We're now going to get a snipe on a Disruptor before the Purification Nova finishes up. 180 supply to 170. There is no active Disruptors right now. Clem is halfway to 3-3 as well. Prism's going to make its way into the main base. Do we have a Dark Shrine? Yeah, we do. Do we have turrets in the main? We don't have turrets in the main, and we're currently on...
Disruptor shot. Massive Disruptor shot. Gets all the Ghosts. That's slow Clem down a lot.
Did he legit kill like 4 Ghosts there?
Yeah.
Nice.
That's the jackpot you didn't have earlier, as we are going to see another disruptor shot here. Just clips the edge of the Marines. Few Zealots will begin to go down. Vikings landing. We continue to commit on forward. Disruptors are dying, though, before we can get there. But disruptor shot does not matter in the end. Clem takes the 23rd WARDITV Monday.
Wow. Impressive stuff. For a second, it felt like MaxPax could do it after that shot, but I guess no bueno.
No bueno. Clem takes his 12th WARDITV Monday.
12.
It's his 4th in a row as well. Crazy.
Truly crazy.
Jeez.
What do we do now, Wardy? Is that it?
That's the StarCraft over. Sure. Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a nice day as well, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been a good one. 4 hours. Some good games. I had some good games like early in the bracket too, so.
Yeah? Which ones?
The Goblin Percival series was pretty fun to start us off. That's pretty cool.
Huh.
Yeah.
Reasonable.
Reasonable.
Did the boys on the YouTube stream like it as well?
Yeah, the YouTube stream loves it.
Really?
Yeah, they love it. The YouTube stream's huge, man.
Really?
Yeah.
I love those guys.
You love those guys. I saw you had to move your YouTube stream to a new channel.
Well, I didn't have to, but it felt better.
Felt better. Fair enough.
Yeah.
That's nice.
You never really have to do anything, Wardy. I'm a free man.
Have you streamed much on the new channel already?
Yeah, like 5 times or so. It's rapidly growing.
Okay. It's rapidly growing, like you getting like more views each time?
Yeah. We started, the first stream was like with 5. Right now we're at 55.
Oh. No. That is
and we
growth.
peaked at 70 today. That's my biggest peak so far. Soon we're going to be monetized as well, so I'm excited for that. Can run ads again for the boys.
Yeah, the moment you get monetized, YouTube wants to actually put you in front of more people as well. Helps.
Ah, true.
Yeah. And the YouTube audience is crazy. Like, it's way better than I ever thought it would be.
You mean they're better people than the Twitch people? Is that what you're saying?
No, they're definitely not better people. Yesterday, I had 2 guys fighting for 3 hours. They started fighting over. They started fighting over balance or something. Then they started calling each other out. Then they grudge matched in the middle of the stream. Then they came back and both claimed they'd won the match. And then proceeded to call each other liars and idiots for the next hour because of that.
Why wouldn't you just release the replay?
And then one of them legitimately made an alt account and was like, I just saw the replay. And then the guy called him up and make an alt account. He's like, yeah, well, you're just a liar. Honestly, it was absolute comedy. Like, it was brilliant. It really kept me going yesterday. It was legit 3 hours of this whole thing. I didn't want to ban them because it was so good.
I can imagine. It sounds like they were good folks.
Yeah, they had a great time. Amazing. But yeah.
All right. Well, I'll see you next time, buddy.
Yeah, I'll see you next time. We've got games the next few days if you're bored.
The what?
We've got games over the next few days if you're bored and want to cast something.
Really? What do you got?
Tomorrow is Skillus, Gumiho Rogue Spirit for Jumi.
Oh.
Thursday is Bunny Zaun Ryung Young Yakov Classic.
I like that.
Yeah, so come join if you want. Whenever.
Yeah, I will, I think.
Cool.
Okay.
Right, I'll see you later.
I'll see you.
Bye.
Alright.
Alrighty, guys. How are we doing? Hello. That is the end of the StarCraft today. So thank you for watching. But yeah, C2, I'm going to turn the YouTube stream off. We're going to do a couple hours of WoW. So StarCraft's over. We'll do a couple hours of WoW as we've been doing lately. And yeah, as I just told Austin, we got WARDITV February, Tuesday and Thursday. So I'll be figuring that out. I'll get that sorted. And yeah, that'll be the next bit of StarCraft. StarCraft back tomorrow. I'm going to do some WoW. I'm just going to be up here a couple minutes. We'll swap over to some WoW and we'll go from there. So man, thank you so much for the 100 bits. Appreciate it. I'm running ads right now, so I can't even sell out. Yeah, I was going to sell out. I'm like, there's no point because we're already running ads. So, alright guys, I'll be a couple minutes for some WoW on the Twitch. YouTube, we're going to go offline. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in a sec.